Hey gamers, welcome to another brand new DSP video. Hopefully the audio should be good. I did a little test recording and it sounded good to me. But you know what? I'll just increase the volume a little bit just in case. Just for the little people. For you, the people. Anyways, we're going to be watching this hour-long epic about DSP talking about Turkey Tam, okay? Sound good? Sound good.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Yes.
Snort, snort, snort. Kogan. Drip. Snort, snort. I got the drip. Go.
We got through the intro. What was that, 15 minutes? 19 minutes? All right, we got it done. Because now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the subject, this is the topic that everyone's going to want to hear. This is the part of the podcast that everyone's going to clip, all right? And everyone's going to put all over the internet. And this part of the podcast will be discussed on everyone else's show but mine. Okay?
Okay, get a load of this.
This is the part of the podcast that everyone's going to clip, all right? And everyone's going to put all over the internet. And this part of the podcast will be discussed on everyone else's show but mine.
It will be discussed everywhere but his show. DSP, you are literally talking about it on your own show. This is like the window of his stupidity. Like, this is like the little warning, a little nudge to you that we're gonna get in some stupid shit. Because, dude, he turns on his podcast like, oh, everyone's gonna talk about this except for me on this show, but you're talking about it now. Okay.
Okay, that's how it works, right?
That's how it works. I talk about it on my show, but I don't talk about it, but I talk about it, then you guys talk about it. Like, does he... This is dumb. The more, like, he says this all the time, and it sounds dumber each time. Because the thing is, I said this on Twitter a few days ago because he kept saying how no one reaches out to me, and then, like, Turkey Tom reaches out and he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about drama or whatever. And it's like, then what are you talking about it? What? Huh?
The drama portion is what everyone else outside of this stream wants to hear. Maybe you're someone who's a regular and you don't even give a crap. I don't blame you. Why?
Okay, so if he has people that don't care, like, this dude is supposed to be Mr. Positive, right? Why is he focusing on the negative?
Don't I blame you? Because as you know, I'm not a guy who focuses on drama. I'm not a guy who focuses on this this crap. Entertainment value, right? I like putting out content that's game-centered, that's chill.
Game-centered,
even though, yes,
chill.
Watching me rage or whatever at a game is entertaining, and maybe that's not so chill.
Yet again, we are now okay. We are okay now, oh god. We are now okay with watching him rage. Isn't it funny how it's only okay and fine and fun to laugh at him raging when he's trying to be like, see, I'm not drama. I'm not drama, man. But if no one's like giving him the attention like this, oh, only the trolls want to see me rage. Okay.
Fun, right? It's in good humor. You know the kind of content that I like to put out. And you know that I like to avoid drama. But every once in a while, I get sucked into it, and there's not much I can do about it, correct? It's going to happen.
Correct.
In life. You can't always avoid the drama,
man.
But it all depends on how you react to it and how you handle it.
His hair looks really fucking weird. Like, it's really to the point, he needs to, like, give up on this hairstyle. This hairstyle is just not working for him anymore. He looks like a sleazy businessman, but now he looks like that's what he wants to go for. But now he just looks like I don't know, it just looks really weird. Like, it kind of goes up this way, then like slanted this way, like it's like this. It's an L shape. He has literally an L on his forehead, man.
Handle it, right? And for a quick summary of what's going on, for those who maybe haven't been around recently, allow me to summarize what's going on so you know why we're in this point today and why I'm talking about this today and why I'm coming to a decision. So,
okay. Yeah, his hair it just
About a
looks
week
worse
ago?
and worse.
I don't know again because I
Like,
haven't
my
watched
God,
it.
man.
But a YouTube documentarian.
No, get this, right? He talks about June the King and Frederick Knudsen or Knudsen, whatever the fuck. And he's like, oh, these are documentarians. Oh, look at the documentarians. Documentarian. But when he's talking about Turkey Tom, he's like a guy, I guess, who's a documentarian. Like, already you know where it's going. Because before he decided to say no and all this stuff, he was like, well, you did a documentary on me. Like, he just kind of kept him at arm's distance for a while, and the more information he got, the more, like, defensive he got. Like, my dad, there's no nepotism. There's no nepotism. My dad didn't have a big role, man. No, man. He sounds like he doesn't know what he's talking about, and all this stuff. Like, he starts to get, like, really antsy and all this stuff. And I was debating watching the pre-stream where he was begging for his chat to tell him if he should do the interview or not. And to save time, I'll just say this. He obviously just wanted his audience to say yes or no, and no matter the outcome, he could just blame them or use them as a defense, as a way to cope if he did or didn't do it. Oh, I didn't do it because my chat said that I shouldn't do it, so I agree with them. I shouldn't do it. My chat said I should do it, and it was a trap, but I listened to my fans, unlike these other guys, whatever. Because this dude cannot make a decision on his own anymore. He's that dependent. Like, it really makes me wonder if he needs someone else to help him with his hair. Maybe that's where he's at in life right now. Like, he can't even take care of himself. He needs, like, Kat needs to get the comb. She needs to learn how to take care of his hair, obviously.
I don't know, drama video maker. I don't know exactly how you even categorize him because
Here, hold up.
But a YouTube documentarian. I don't know, drama video maker.
This is a good phase.
I don't know exactly how you would even categorize him because again, I never watched his content before. His name's Turkey Tom, and apparently he did a 2-hour documentary on me on his channel. Okay? Immediately when it released, Phil, did you hear it? Phil, did you see it? Phil, what do you think? Phil, what's your comment? Phil. My answer is very simple. I have no comment because I haven't seen it. It's 2 hours long. I don't have time.
I don't have time, but he has time to watch Street Fighter videos. He had time to watch the Boogie documentary. He had time to watch, Boogie documentary from June the Baby, and, movies. I mean, he literally watches movies on his phone, Those are like 2-hour movies. And he's like, oh, well, it's a 2-hour video. I can't watch this, man. Like, come on. Really? You know what? It's even kind of funny. He hyped up watching Invincible, and he still has not uploaded a review, so he's not doing it. Like, at this point, like, this is the other thing this is a little side note, a little addendum, that now that I mentioned the Invincible review that he's never doing, is that this dude needs to announce when he's not going to do the review anymore, because he stops talking about it, and people are just assuming, oh, he must be busy, he's going to do it, and he just doesn't say, it's over. But it doesn't make sense because he could still do it now. Like, he doesn't really need to review season 1 to even watch season 2. Like, come on. I mean, and he's just letting it pass by, like, these viral clicks he could be getting. But at the same time, it also shouldn't matter because the channel's the channel. Like, he's uploading videos every day. Like, does he really need the review to be pertinent to when the episode comes out? It's just really obvious, in my opinion, he doesn't want to watch Invincible. And maybe Kat doesn't like it because it reminds her of Marvel movies, and she's scared of relapsing into Marvel land, even though, like, the Marvel storyline is funny to me. Like, I just think about it sometimes because DC made it a big deal that her ex forced her to see every Marvel movie, and it's like, I'm sure, like, people can get burnt out and people can, that would just fine. But I feel like what she told him was, yeah, I want to see every Marvel movie with my ex, and I'm just tired of him. I don't want to see him anymore. And DSP decided to make it sound like he forced her to see every movie, and then he says all this, and she's like, yeah, she doesn't want to see it anymore, man. One of the date week of vacations he had in 2017, he took her to see Spider-Man. And I'm like, wait, you told us that she hates Marvel movies, but you took her to see Spider-Man. But then again, it's DSP. He doesn't know any other movie. He knows Marvel movies are the safest movie to go because you know what to expect. He can't take her to like a movie that is made from some indie director or to some other director that's not Marvel and is terrified of wasting money because his baby brain cannot comprehend bigger concepts. I'm very toxic about DSP's movie selection and I don't care.
To just drop everything I'm doing in the midst of the busiest time of the year for me, by the way. This is the time of year when I am juggling multiple new release games, right? We got special events going on for the holidays. This is absolutely my busiest work time of the year. It's not like this was like the dead of summer. And
now look at this, right? He wouldn't want to participate in drama stuff when he's playing games. He'd much rather do it when there's nothing going on. Now, DSP has said, well, I don't have to resort to drama. But why do you want to participate in drama during the dead time? Wouldn't that be making money using drama during times of no new releases? Like, it's so stupid. And this, to me, like, he's so lucky. DSP is so lucky. His chat cannot handle critical thought because every time he talks about Turkey Tom or any situation like this, it really just exposes how much of a hypocrite he is.
Nothing going on, and we have dead time, and we could, let's just do a big-ass react day to this documentary because there's nothing better to do. In reality, it kind of dropped at the worst possible time. If there was an attempt to try to get me to react to it, this was the worst timing for it, right? I'm just so busy. Right. And by the way, I'm coming off of an illness. I was sick for a week. Now I'm backlogged a week because I was so damn sick. So it's even just...
Okay, this like, backlog is such a massive joke. What was he backlogged on? He beat the games that he didn't, that he couldn't play. So what's he backlogged on? Nothing! Because the games he was backlogged on was Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2. He just beat those two games like 2 weeks ago or whatever the fuck. And after that, he played Like a Dragon Gaiden the day it came out. He's playing Mario RPG since the day it came out. So, what was backlogged? What playthrough does he have that was backlogged? And before anyone says, Theo, Starfield, that game he put on hiatus on his own. Like, that was already on hiatus. He wasn't, like, planning to play Starfield the week he got sick. So this backlog narrative, it doesn't work anymore. It worked when it happened, but it doesn't work anymore. And even when it happened, it didn't set him back that much. Think about it. Because he was able to beat the games, like, reasonably on time before, Like a Dragon and Mario RPG dropped. He pretended so hard that he was gonna play RoboCop. Isn't that funny? He's like, if I had the money, I would have got RoboCop and Mario RPG and alternate between the two. He gets RoboCop for free. 3 copies of it, by the way. And we are still not playing it because he told us now he has to beat another game to play RoboCop. If you look at the math, it doesn't add up. He told us he needed to beat like 2 games before starting Like a Dragon Gaiden. He beats 2 games, and that fills 1 slot. So he has 1 slot open. Okay, he needs to beat another game. Okay, he beats that, gets Mario RPG. Okay, well, now there's no other slot to be, going on. Well, we need to beat another game. Like, it's just weird. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, like, how he can't fit in RoboCop, especially when he's alternating with, like, filler multiplayer, which he calls filler. He calls multiplayer filler, but now we just want to put off RoboCop. I really am curious to see if RoboCop is going to get the Final Fantasy Crisis Core treatment, where he gets it and he just sits on it and never does it, you know? I wonder if that's gonna happen. But okay.
Compounds the problem, makes it even worse, right? Perhaps, excuse me, perhaps if this documentary had dropped at a different time of the year, I would have reacted to it right away. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have done this in the
see
past.
this bullshit? He brags. He's gonna brag in this fucking video, by the way. How, oh, I don't, you know, draw. Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh, I made a promise to you guys. I made a promise to you guys that I would stay out of the drum after the Side Scrolls interview. And now I was like, well, if it came out at a different time, I would have done it, man. Okay.
Last year, I did a lot of reacting.
It just shows how much this dude loves sounding so, like, I don't know the word for it, because I don't want to say totalitarian, because I don't think that's exactly it. But it's pretty much like giving an ultimatum for everything. So definitive. He wants to sound so definitive about everything. And he's not. In reality, he is not definitive at all. Like, at all.
I reacted to the Frederick Knudsen Down the Rabbit Hole video. I reacted to the John and Howard, basically, you know, attack video about me.
Attack video. Didn't he say, wasn't it like, whatever, but now it's an attack video. He just wants to make it negative because he's a little victim. DSP the victim.
2015. I did a lot of introspection about my past as a content creator, as a person. I fessed up to a lot of shortcomings, mistakes, and problems that I've had. You know,
every time he brought, like, this is such a dumb fucking point. All the things he admitted to was stuff that he couldn't admit, he couldn't make an excuse for, that is actually documented and all this stuff, which is like the most minimal stuff that people don't like him for, and everything else was, well, in reality, that didn't happen. It was actually this thing that happened that got in the way. It was all just throwing the blame on someone else. And even Howard and John and Rambo react, he kind of admits that he was abusing Howard. Like, the stuff that he was doing is kind of not a cool thing to do to someone. Like, he guilt tripped Howard into visiting to his, like, going away party. And he sat there and he's like, yeah, he's not gonna come, fuck this guy. He did it anyway. He comes and he's like, and it's just like, dude, like, and I talked about this, I said this before, but it is kind of funny that he did that to Howard when DSP is the Mr. Family Man, but he wanted to drag Howard away from his girlfriend. And even during the react, he didn't even acknowledge how shitty that is. He just said, yeah, I did it because of that. Okay, like, he didn't even say, yeah, I did that, and it was kind of shitty of me because, you know, he should have spent time with his girlfriend. You know, it's meaningful time. No. But if someone dragged DSP away from his wife, you're a fucking awful person, and you should go to jail. But he drags Howard away from his girlfriend and felt no remorse. Of course.
And I think a lot of people appreciated that. To this day, I still see new comments and things posting up on those videos of people watching them and saying, wow, you know, it's really interesting that Phil finally kind of did this.
No, it's not. It's not interesting.
It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, they sound like they had, like...
Anyway, so this documentary drops, and everyone, of course, is coming to my streams asking me about it, and I have nothing to say. Like, I really have nothing to say about it because I haven't seen it. How can you say something's good or bad, true or false, if you don't see it, right? So my attitude is, I'm just going to ignore it, we'll just move on. But undoubtedly, of course, what happens is over the week, people keep asking me and prodding me. Did you hear that Tom said that he feels that the helicopter job you had back in the day was because of nepotism? That your dad was a high up...
It's funny. He gets all these troll tips and all this stuff. He ignores it. But this stuff, he just takes the bait because he just wants to have a little clickbait, man. He just likes the attention.
You're at the company and he got you the job. It's the only reason you had it. And it's ironic that you lost the job because it was a nepotism job to let you see.
It's a nepotism job. But the thing is because he says, well, my dad didn't have a majorial position. I don't even think Tom said that in his documentary, if I remember correctly. I'll be honest. I'm like halfway through it and I kind of forgot the beginning of it. So maybe I should rewatch it again, but I don't want to do it. But the thing is, he doesn't have to be in a managerial position because his dad could just be talking to people in the company, be like, "Yeah, that's my son. He's pretty cool. Hire him or whatever." Like, he doesn't think that's a possibility that other people can talk to someone else. Like, it's not like he thinks the nepotism allegation is like a literal, like, he's the boss and he hired his son kind of thing, but he doesn't understand that nepotism could be like not in that kind of way. It could be nepotism in the sense that the job sees that this guy's related to his dad, asked his dad, should we hire him? And he said yes, because why would your own father say no? He's a loser, right? Or whatever. Or they could just say, hey, this is another Burnell. We have a Burnell here. They're probably related, and he's a good worker. He might be a good worker too. And they hired him. Like, that's not something that he doesn't think could be the case. I mean, sure, I would say it's a more ambiguous allegation. And I think that's the other thing with Tom. I think he should. I don't remember if he said necessarily that it's speculation or not. And I think he should. But I don't want to say he did or didn't, you know, but I want to say he didn't, but I'm just gonna, but I don't want to say that for sure. But if he did, cool. If he didn't, he should say it's like speculative that was the case.
You still lost it, right?
But no one said it was ironic that he lost it because it was a nepotism job. That doesn't make any sense.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't watch the documentary. It's completely false. It's completely ridiculously false. Not even close to the truth. But no, I didn't hear that because, again, I'm not watching this documentary. What do you think about the fact that he titled the documentary 10 Years of Failure? Don't you think that that's clickbait? Don't you think that that's toxic and negative? Yeah, I think it's clickbait. I think it is toxic and negative.
It's not toxic to say someone's a failure. I think it's more toxic if you, like, revel in the person being a failure and, like, all that kind of shit. Like, being mean-spirited about it, but saying something's a failure isn't really... It's an observation, which DSP loves to say, because DSP has called people failures, like, throughout his career. And then when people say, isn't that negative? Oh, no, I'm just making an observation, man. Someone makes the same observation on him. Oh, no, that is toxic and negative. Don't think about it. Don't think about it too hard.
In my streams, I was playing Mario one day, and I'm talking about how I don't think you can accurately call it 10 years of failure, because failure is a subjective judgment, right?
Okay. So the title is subjective, correct? So, you know, you can watch the video and you can disagree, sure. I mean, again, like, it's up to you about watching the video or not. Like, this is such a dumb thing to get hung up on, because he's acting as if, like, the video title was like, DSP is a pedophile. DSP is a he killed someone or whatever the fuck. And, like, yeah, those are, like, really bad to say because those may not even be true. But saying DSP is a failure is, like, subjective, and it's only 10 years. He's been streaming for 15 years or whatever the fuck, right? So obviously he's just mentioning the first 10 years, which DSP has said was not a good time of his career compared to now. But okay.
You fail. Well, fail at what? There's levels of success that you can judge. Sure, if you want to talk about viewership and money that I bring in, you could say that it's been 10 years of failure because...
How is money failure, though? You're making more money back then than you are now, I thought. Huh?
Yeah, I'm not popular today like I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? At the same time, if I'm happier, healthier, and I'm okay with who I am as a content...
How are you healthier now? You're burping and you told us you have medical issues. You got sick recently. You're healthier? Okay.
And I know I'm not hurting people when I make content, and I know I'm not being toxic when I make content, and I know that it's positive stuff, and I love it, and my viewers love it. But
how do you know? Whatever. Okay.
The community that supports... What is wrong with that? And how can you say that someone who's operating a successful business is a failure?
He literally was complaining about how he couldn't afford games recently. But he's a success, guys.
Right? Maybe per yours, again, subjective judgments of, oh, this is a level of success you should have or could have had. This is a level of viewership. If you had done this and done this differently and done this differently and done this differently, you could have been huge. Fair enough. But hindsight's 2020. Back then, things were different. There was no,
oh my God.
how do you say, blueprint
This is so stupid about the no blueprint yet. The reason why this is dumb was the people that were criticizing about him was just his attitude, which you don't really need YouTubers to exist to understand how to behave around people. Like, do you really need to watch someone interact with another human to understand how to interact with humans? Like, you're an adult, DSP. And like, how does he know? And like the more you think about it, the more stupid it sounds. He said the N-word on video. He needed another YouTuber to get in trouble. DSP, one, you're white, and two, the N-word is a derogatory term. Like, come on. Come on. You can't keep hiding. There were no other YouTubers, man. Like, so that's like me saying, like, if I record myself murdering someone, right? And then I go to court and like, yeah, there's a video. Man, I didn't do that. Look, there were no other YouTubers that did this before, okay? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not a defense at all, because murder is wrong, and so is being racist, man. And it's just ridiculous. It's so insane to sit there and say that there were no other YouTubers around for me to learn from. You needed another YouTuber to learn how to not say the N-word? You needed another YouTuber to tell you to not be an asshole to your audience? Like, this is stuff that you should kind of get, you know? Like, it's not really an excuse. Sure, it would work if it was a saying, like, the type of content, like, oh, I didn't know that, like, videos should be shorter or longer or whatever, but even then, it's like, you know, whatever, you know, you don't need, like, it's more and more, like, just puzzling to me, because, yeah, you can look at other YouTubers and see how they react to some stuff, but at the same time, a lot of it is just intuition that you just pick up over time. It's just really stupid, and the more you think about it and dive into it, the more you can kind of realize how much this dude needed help in life. Like, it's really to the point, it's almost like, I'm gonna use a example these people would laugh at. It's like, if he goes to the bathroom, does he need Kat to wipe his ass too? Huh? Like, that's how he acts. And it's like, do you really need this much help to navigate through life?
Be a YouTuber. There was no even history of successful YouTubers at that point to see what they did to be successful. I was there at the beginning, right? So there was no track record of this is what you do to win, this is what you do to grow, this is what you do. And over the years, I did make mistakes. I made missteps. I've already admitted to them many times. Again, we were watching the Frederick Knudsen documentary, and me watching that documentary opened my eyes to a lot of things about how badly I reacted to certain things that completely blew up in my face and stuff like that. You know, again, I don't know to what extent Tom talks about this stuff in his documentary because I didn't have 2 hours to watch it, right? We didn't do a live react to it. Anyway, so yeah, I have issue with the title of the documentary. I feel it's clickbait. I feel it's misrepresentative. If you wanted to call it 10 years of decline, 10 years of, you know, I don't know, on the downward slope.
Oh, I don't know. The downward slope?
Failure subjective. You can judge something as a failure.
Like, but look how he also doesn't get that you need a good catchy title for your video to work. You can't just say, DSP, the downward slope to decline. The decline content maker DSP or whatever the fuck. Like, it just doesn't work. I mean, the only thing that Tom could have done was just steal June the Cuck's fucking titles, and that wouldn't work because then people say, "Whoa, Tom is not creative." Okay.
I don't think anything I've done is a big failure. I'm still here. I'm still enjoying content. I'm still making a living. How is that failure? And by the way,
you had to change how you made your content, though. And DSP has said people who change their content, they're failures. He called Rich a failure because he changed his content. He couldn't do tech reviews videos anymore, so he changed his content to do drama vlogs and all these other stupid videos and blah, 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 blah. That's being a failure. Oh, DSP went from being a vlogger to gameplay man to then live streamer to then live interactive streamer. That's all success. He could change what he does, but no one else can. Interesting.
I'm happier today than I've ever been. How is that failure, right?
And again, I just seen, fuck her for trying to make gameplay videos. She's an idiot. She shouldn't make gameplay videos. But DSP, who never made a React channel before, who always hated it, can now open a React channel and react to videos. And that's okay. But fuck I Just Seen for trying to play games. This is a gamer zone. Real gamers only. Okay.
Anyway. So I said these kind of things over the last week as people kind of asked me questions about the documentary during my streams. And again, I'm just answering on the fly off the cuff during my streams. I haven't seen this thing, okay?
Okay.
So apparently a few days ago, Turkey Tom, I guess, responded again. And basically said...
responded again?
Well, okay. Basically what happened was, I guess Tom had said on his content that he wanted to talk to me, like he wanted to do an interview.
Oh, yeah?
Because he was fascinated now with some of my responses, and he wanted to, like, talk to me and do, like, a one-on-one deal.
It's so funny, right? He tells everyone that they should reach out to him. Tom reaches out to him per DSP's wish that everyone reach out to him to talk to him, and like how he responds to it.
And I said, well, I'm not a hard guy to find. There's many ways you could contact me, right? You could email me, you could DM me on Twitter / X, whatever you want to call it.
The fact that he falls for this stupid X fucking bullshit is so fucking pathetic. Like, sure, it's a nitpick, but it is so pathetic that he fell for that. Like, DSP is such a mark for these fucking idiots. Like, he's designed to fall for it, because, like, come on. X is such a dumb name, it sucks. It's a terrible name. And he's like, yeah, X. Just say fucking Twitter like a normal fucking person, DSP, but you can't be normal, huh?
Among other ways, but there's public ways to contact me. It's all over my YouTube page and everything. This is how you do it. So, Turkey Tom did the
It's all over his YouTube page. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
And we've had a back and forth over the course of the last week or so, okay? And essentially the discussion is this. I don't think he's going to have a problem with me talking about this publicly, because it's very common conversations, no private info here. Basically, he first responded and said, so I want to have a conversation with you.
It's so funny. He says this, but then when it came to, like, anyone else, well, you know, I don't want to get in trouble for leaking DMs and all this stuff. But it's just weird. Like, yeah, if there's nothing really damning in those DMs or whatever, he could just say, like, look, this is what I said in it, because that's all he's gonna say. It's just his side of it. It's really stupid when you're just leaking your own statement, but whatever.
I'll talk about everything. I want to talk about the mobile game drama. I want to talk about
yeah, you did say Tom. Whoops. But these are stuff that, like, Tom also openly talked about as well. But whatever.
Podcast and Keemstar. I want to talk about your history as a content creator. I want to talk about your community. I want to talk about the drama around you. I want to talk about all this stuff, okay? So we had a conversation, and after going back and forth many times about this, essentially, okay, the way that we narrowed it down was this. I said, first of all, I'm not going on any podcast. I'm not going on anything related to Keemstar. Everyone kind of knows my opinion on this guy at this point. I want nothing to do with this guy at all, all right? So if you want to talk, it'll be a one-on-one conversation. That's fine. What would you want to do? And essentially, he's like, yeah, it would be like a one-on-one conversation, not a live stream. It would be like a show we do, a live video or whatever. Or not live video, excuse me, an on-demand video offline that he would then, you know, upload after the fact. And I basically told him, I said, listen, if you're looking for me to essentially rediscuss all the drama stuff that I've already discussed on my content in the freaking Side Scrollers podcast earlier this year, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm done with that stuff. That was the whole point of me doing that Side Scroller show, was to get it out of the way. I've talked about it now. It's over. If you want my answers, you have them. I'm not going to change my answers, because that's the truth. So either you watch that or you don't. Believe me or not, it doesn't matter. There's no point in re-asking me the same questions. You'll get the same answers 100 times. Okay? So basically I said, excuse me, you know, if you want to talk about me, my content, my history as a YouTuber, right, stuff like that, My community.
This is lame. This is such a lame idea to talk about his history. Like, you get that on the pre-stream every day. Every day. And, like, I don't understand what's the point. He just released a video discussing his past, and he wants to discuss his past again? Okay.
That's cool. But don't expect me to sit down and give any
And what's he
attention.
gonna talk about his community? Yeah, guys, like, I have people and they can be tips, man. Wow! And then they sometimes member bomb, and then, like, they say stuff in chat that's, like, really insightful, man. Wow.
Keemstar and all that shit. Don't expect me to talk about fucking mobile games and dumb shit. I'm done with all of that. It's just behind me at this point. I don't want to involve my community in drama anymore. And I explained to him that earlier this year with that Side Scrollers podcast, all right? Sadly, that was a situation where I decided to do it. I shouldn't have. It was against my better judgment. I did it anyway. I trusted them. And that was something that was very harmful to my...
But this is stupid, though. He kind of, like, you could argue that there was stuff in that interview that is, like, you know, whatever, but it's a fucking interview. He could have just easily just ignored the stuff that was going on. It's like, yeah, this was a dumb interview, and that's it, and move on. But he made it such a big deal. Like, as I said this multiple times. Like, when they got Keemstar on, I did think that was kind of a very weird part. Like, it led to a lot of good, interesting parts, for sure. It's just that he said he didn't want to talk to Keemstar in the beginning of the podcast, and then he caved and decided to let him on. Which, I think, if I were DSP in that situation, I would have stood my ground and just said no. I wouldn't care. Like, oh yeah, he showed up, I don't give a fuck. No. Because I already answered the question before to say no. Why would I magically change my answer now, you know? Like, so... As much as I thought that Keemstar segment was, like, weird as hell, it was kind of his fault because he said yes. Like, he should have stood his ground and see where... Because, honestly, if they really wanted Keemstar in that badly or so, like, you would know at that point, okay, yeah, they're trying to get something. But if they said no and they moved on, then that's it. He could have just said no, but he caved and said yes. So as much as DSP would love for me to say, well, DSP is right. They used him. I can't fully say that because DSP allowed it to happen. He said yes. I can't really blame the side scrollers for asking the question and him saying yes. Like, come on. Because it's obvious they knew they were gonna get a view boost and good clips that they got Keem and DSP in the same fucking interview, and he said yes. He gave them the magic bullet when he could have just said no and see what would have happened. Because again, it's his interview. It's again, he even told us, they asked me if they could do this and I said yes. So you said yes. You can't really blame them for changing the agreement when you agreed to it. Like, it's not like he said no, and then they changed the agreement with him saying no. Like, it would have been far different if DSP said no the whole time and then Keem got on the call anyway. Then it would have been a completely different discussion. But he said yes. Like, I can't really feel bad for him when he allowed it to happen. And that's a take that DSP would say to someone else if they said the same shit. Like, this dude is ridiculous.
Community for months. My community told me for months after that, wow, that really sucked because now we got nothing but toxic element all around you and your content. People
you already have a toxic element, dumbass.
Shit about you. It's messed up. You shouldn't have done it, right? And I regret it now, you know, but it is what it is. It's out there. It's done. Thank God, right? And so,
now
why would I want...
See how fucking weird this interview has become over time? It went from, it's fair, well, at least it's all in one place, to, oh, it was awful, I regretted it, man. Like, do you, though? Does he truly regret it? Because he every time he talked about anything drama-related, it was, well, let's wait till downtime. I don't think he regretted it. I just think he just doesn't give a fuck. He just likes the attention.
I go back to that. Right?
Again, it's very easy to be against drama and all this stuff when you're busy, right? It's like participating in a boycott when you're not even planning on buying the thing that people are boycotting. Like, come on.
past that, right? So basically I said to him, you know, it would have to be non-related to all that stuff. And he kind of agreed. He said, all right, we don't have to talk about that. We can still have a one-on-one conversation about other stuff, you know, again, your content, your history as a creator, all this stuff. And I was like, all right, well, here's the deal. Allow me to talk to my community about it.
It's kind of funny. I think in the pre-stream I was debating watching, he said, I can't force Turkey Tom to change his questions, and that'll be fucked up. And now he got Turkey Tom to change his agreement, or his, what he wanted. I mean, like, it's not really unheard of or fucked up as easy want to say, to tell someone if they want to interview, like, look, I just don't want to talk about this. I just want to interview about this or this. Like, that's fine. But if DSP is going to have the principle that it's fucked up to change the questions that, or control the interview, then what was that then? You know what I mean?
Right? Because I want feedback from them before I make a decision. Unlike what I did earlier this year, where I feel like I made a huge mistake, right? I went out and I did this interview, and it basically turned into a hate fest against me for several months. People reveled in the drama and all the shit. They all got their jaw.
7 months? I don't know. That seems kind of generous. It kind of lasted for like a month, I want to say, maybe 2. But now it was several months. But he also told us last week that it only lasted until June, man, until Street Fighter 6 came out. But now it's several months. Okay.
He's off. They all made tons of money from my hate watchers, right? And in the meantime, all my fans and viewers are bothered by a bunch of harassment online and toxic shit.
They're already being bombarded online. They're already being bullied, though. Whatever.
It's like, this is the opposite of what people want. Okay? So let me talk to my audience. Let me directly decide with my audience what we want to do, and I'll get back to you. All right? So, as you guys know, all right, yesterday we talked about this on this very show. And, excuse me, simply proposing the idea to you guys, okay?
Okay.
I got interesting responses in the chat. All right?
Yes.
Some of the responses I got live were fascinating. Some people, all right, were completely on board. Wow, Phil, so you mean you're going to have an interview where you're not going to talk about all that bullshit drama, but instead actually just about you and your content? Well, this would be good for you. You'll have an opportunity to talk about yourself and what you stand for and your content and everything.
But that's your content. Whatever. Okay, yeah, you'd be able to spread the word, man.
And not have it.
He just wants to spread his pignosis. That's all he wants to do. Like, you could definitely see that in the Side Scrollers interview, the beginning of it. He wanted it to be like an hour-long pignosis segment. But then, like, they started asking hard-hitting questions, that went out the window. I do think it's really funny, right? That Adam made that joke about selling merch about his fappening, and it gave a really, like, loud laugh. And also, you just see DSP, like, look towards the PC, and then he dropped. And I kind of wonder if he was, like, debating of just rage quitting the interview, but then it was like, well, then they're gonna call me a bitch. Well, I guess I could come back, but I need to make an excuse. Oh, I was DDoSed.
Misrepresented, because it's not going to have that drama element to it. Instead, it's going to be just discussion about more important things, right?
Like what?
And then some people were like, yeah, this will give you exposure. You know, Turkey Tom's audience likely doesn't know who you are, or didn't know who you were until they watched this documentary. And now to actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Wow. To actually, you know, see who you are as a person. Maybe some people would give it a shot and will come over and watch your content, right? Give it a look. It's good exposure, right? Others are staunchly against it. They're like, oh my God, Phil, are you out of your...
This is stupid, right? Correct? Because he spent so long being, I'm gonna stay out of drama. I'm gonna do my own stuff. I'm done with drama. No more interviews. I'm gonna be left alone. Leave me alone. And then he's like, oh, I could do this. And then he thinks that people are being staunchly opposed is like, wow. Maybe they're being staunchly opposed because they want you to fucking stand up for your own fucking ideals, right? Isn't it funny how he needs this chat to kind of make him stay on his own fucking morals? Because otherwise he's going to be breaking his back to do whatever. This dude is just insane, and it's frustrating because, again, if DSP was watching someone and they were doing what he's doing, he'd probably say the same shit. This guy doesn't stand for anything he believes in, man. But look at him. He's squirming around. He's squirming, just deciding to do an interview or not.
Mind after earlier this year, what happened? After you trusted people and you were basically treated like dirt, and then we had to go through that crap for 2-3 months until it finally calmed down.
These people, they gotta be trolling. They gotta be trolling. What were they going through? What were they fucking going through? You still watch Phil? And he was on the side scroll. They roasted him, man. Wow, we're gonna fucking punch you now. What the fuck? What were they going through? I want to see what they were going through. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, shut up. If you got that affected by DSP having a bad interview, then you need to reevaluate your life. If you're that fucking affected by it. Like, to that level where you're, like, crying in a corner. Like, come on.
Summertime or whatever. And, like, why would you even think about possibly doing this again? Are you dumb? Right? Did you not learn your lesson the first... Until it finally calmed down in the early summertime or whatever. And, like, why would you even think about possibly doing this again? Are you dumb? Right? Did you not learn your lesson the first time? People, I hate to say it, but after the side scrollers thing, there's sadly a chunk of my viewership, my audience, who feels like I will never be given a fair shake, ever, by anyone on the internet.
Oh my god, this fucking idiot with no one's gonna give me a fair shake. He gets so many fucking people going up to his chat. I watched you from the trolls and actually gave you a chance, and you're a cool guy. And now he's saying no one's giving him a chance? Turkey Tom was willing to talk to you. That's not him giving you a chance? Like, what are you talking about? And then even after that, people kept asking him to go on their show. That's not giving him a chance? This dude, at this point, I think he wants to be canceled. He wants to be super duper canceled. That's what he wants. And people should give it to him. They should shut down his channel. I think he really wants it to happen. So I said it before, he deserves to just deal with false copyright strikes every month. He just deserves it. And he wants it. Just listen to how he talks. No one's gonna give me a fair chance, man. I'm like a nobody now. It's like, dude, you're still like around. You get like 487 members. And you're scoffing at that? No one's giving you a chance? He gets new whales every so often to give him money to help him. He got 3 copies of RoboCop. He got a mini PC. Like, that's not people supporting him and giving him a chance? Like, this dude got a free fucking Xbox. A free Xbox, a free gamer chair, a free LED light. He gets all this free shit. Oh, no one's giving me a chance, man. If that's not giving him a chance, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Has this underlying agenda, right? That people are, simply put, just trying to fool him.
He wants so many people to just sit there and I guess giving him the chance is just off the bat giving him praise, which makes no fucking sense. Because if you're giving someone a chance, you're going with a neutral mindset or you had some preconceived notion about him, and then you're just going to give him the chance. It could be, the preconceived notion could be good or bad. You can say, I heard good things. I'm going to give this guy a chance to see if he's actually worth it. And then you can sit there and say, wow, he's really cool. Or, this guy sucks. Or he'll go in thinking, this guy's a piece of shit. Wow, this guy's actually pretty cool. Or whatever the fuck. Like, that's giving you a chance, dumbass. But he wants people to sit there and be like, oh, this guy's pretty cool, man. Off the bat? Okay. So and he thinks that these people is asking questions about WWE champions or mobile games or this or that is already being negative, but that's just asking him questions about stuff that's being said about you, though. Isn't that what you'd rather have? These people going to you to talk about them? Whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
Get me in a situation.
Again, which is why you should just not talk about it. Like, all this stuff would be just better if you just said, well, Turkey Tom asked me if I want to do an interview. and people were very apprehensive about it, but I think I should just not do it because I'd much rather just focus on what I'm doing, right? But he knows that's bullshit because deep down in his little pig brain, he must know he could get some attention off it, and that's what he wants because I think he has a victim complex. He just loves it, and that's right what he sees this as. But he's so dedicated in having like some validation with some decision that he wants his audience to validate him so bad,
where then they can get personal benefit out of having interaction with me. Let's be honest, I am one of the most sought after people for an interview. In this last year, I've had people offering me thousands of dollars for an interview, which I turned down. Okay? People want to talk to me, but I refuse because I know that these people don't have my best interest.
He didn't turn down the interview because they were offering him money. He turned it down because he wanted to talk about mobile games. Like, come on. Be real.
Of me or my community in mind, that they literally just want to pull me into a drama vortex for their own personal benefit, right? The more I say, the more content they have to put out on the internet that's toxic and negative about me, and it gives them money. So that's all it is. You're trying to drive me into that crap, right? So, there's a lot to think about here, right?
Right.
I asked you guys for feedback overnight. Let me tell you, I got more feedback than I bargained for. I got more feedback than I ever expected. I had people who I haven't talked to in a while who actually wrote me. Okay? You know, I haven't spoken to you.
Okay.
More feedback than I bargained for. I got...
He had multiple days begging for feedback. Multiple days.
More feedback than I ever expected. I had people who I haven't talked to in a while who actually wrote me. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
You know, I haven't spoken to you in years, but I just want to let you know, here's what I think about this situation with this interview with Turkey Tom. I'm like, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Tons of people left comments.
I wasn't expecting people to give me feedback when I asked for feedback, man. Wow.
On the video, thank you for that. Like I said, I got emails, I got messages, DMs about it from every corner of the internet. I was like, holy crap. Like, I thought I'd get like 10 people. I got like 100. It was like wild, the amount of feedback that I got, okay? And again, essentially, there's now 3 schools of thought on this, all right? Number 1 is any exposure is good exposure. It doesn't matter if you do this interview and you look good or you look bad. It doesn't matter if you do this interview and you actually...
Yeah, because honestly, he did a Side Scrolls interview, and look what happened. People either like thought he was a piece of shit, or they still came to his channel and was like, this guy is funny, and we were just gonna like do whatever. Like, come on.
Talk about meaningful topics so people learn about you, or if Turkey Tom actually baits you into toxic stuff, any exposure is good exposure for you right now. So who cares if it's positive or negative, right? Just do it, okay? The other school of thought is absolutely don't do it, because the flip side of that is anything you do affects everybody. And right now, you've spent a year building a good faith.
This shit is a fucking cult. Because how can anyone be affected by this? Ugh. And it's not even like a serious allegation. Like, the only thing I could think of that an incident could affect people is if it's like something heinous happened. Like if someone got assaulted or whatever. Like, sure, maybe that would affect the fan base, because then it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to support this guy anymore or whatever. And then you have people like, you know, whatever. But this is over. I just did an interview and it was a whatever interview. Like this is the most like trivial thing to say it's gonna affect you. Like, come on.
For your audience.
Like, he wants to be so bad, he wants to be like what he deems as a lookout at this point. He wants to be seen as this very pathetic little person. And he's not pathetic for that. He's pathetic because he's an idiot. He thinks he's in such a worse position than he actually is. This dude, like, nothing's going on, and he's acting as if, like, a mob is outside his house ready to kill him. Like, this dude, like, he's like, it's like he's getting off to it, like, please, someone hate me, like, people think that Boogie has and a humiliation fetish. And you know, at this point, maybe he does. But DSP, he has a fetish of some kind, I tell you.
Telling them you weren't going to involve yourself in drama, telling them that after the side scrollers thing you learned, and you're not going to keep involving yourself in this kind of stuff. You did a good job this year. You stayed out of the drama with things like this Lol Cow podcast where people kept trying to get your go and threaten you and get you to do something, and you didn't do any of it. And that's a good thing that you stayed out of it because you made the right decisions, right?
Right, correct.
So don't do it, Doug. No matter what, there is no positive spin on this.
Where are we in this video?
It's just going to be bad for you and everybody else. Okay? And then there's some people who, interestingly enough, are middle of the boat. They're not going off the one end or the other end. They're kind of like, well, here's the thing. It's kind of possibility for good or bad. Because if, hold on, because I'm stretching my back right now, kind of decompressing it. If Turkey Tom is being honest, I know I look weird right now, but, you know, when you have back problems, sometimes you got to decompress your back.
Okay, cool.
If Turkey Tom is being honest, right?
Dude, is he not unbutton his shirt?
If
this shirt looks
he is
weird.
Being transparent and if he's being truthful, right?
Whatever. Right?
Then this interview would probably be pretty good, right? To actually have someone just sit down and talk about you and your history as a creator and what you stand for and why you made the decisions you did and the things you've done over the years and stuff. And if he's not bringing up nonsensical drama shit that everyone else has already covered, all their conspiracies that are constantly circulated, the same exact bullshit conspiracy information in a circle, constant, just keeps spinning, right?
So you don't want to, like, clarify that or, like, debunk it? No, man.
If that's the case, then it's actually could be good. But again, the question really is, and this is actually what I really most appreciate is some people who used an analytical mind towards it.
Oh my god!
The whole point.
They took it to the lab, and the scientist ran some tests
of you granting an interview would be because you have something to talk about and you feel that it's going to be beneficial, right? What's the point of doing an interview if it doesn't help anything, right? And I'm like, but you don't know the interview. It didn't happen yet.
And there's all these positives he just listed, and there's also negatives, but that's with anything. There could be a food you've never eaten. It could be really good or really bad. Should you not eat it? Because it could be really bad?
That does make sense. Absolutely. If I have a point to get across, if I have something I want to speak about, and I wanted to have an audience outside of just my own, because let's be honest, me talking to you guys right now live on the podcast, how many people are on the stream right now? I'm going to guess 350.
Oh, this is bullshit. Because, by the way, he titled the fucking pre-stream, my reaction to Turkey Tom, or whatever, or my response. And he's like, 380. Yeah, sure,
175. There's more people on the podcast than I even suspected, okay? Well, in reality, my usual audience is around 300 people on a podcast, okay? So me talking to you, this is like the preacher preaching to the choir, right? You guys are here every day. Right. You like the stuff, you like me, you understand where I come from. You don't need...
I thought that's what you wanted, though. You want a curated audience, Phil.
I need to tell you about what I stand for. You know already. You're here.
Does! He does! I almost let it slide. I almost let this fucker get away with it. And I almost let him get away with it, too.
You can't keep getting away with it!
It's bullshit. It's so...
You can't keep getting away with it!
It's such bullshit. Every fucking stream, he tells us how he's not a shill. I don't have to worry about fucking sponsors. I don't have to worry about losing a sponsor. I'm a one-man guy, man. And all this shit every day. Every fucking time he goes into the plug segment, he does that. He explains the plug segment to us. He explains the schedule to us every fucking day. And he has the fucking nerve to look at you with this face and say, you know this stuff already. Shut the fuck up. That's not true. It's not. You tell us every day the same shit you tell us yesterday.
Right? But for me to go to an outside podcast or an outside show and talk, that's different. That's exposure. That's giving me a venue to talk to people who don't sit here on this show every day and know who I am. They don't watch my gaming. They don't watch anything. And you know, wow, wait a minute. Someone who stands for this kind of stuff, it's a little different from everybody else. That's interesting. That's fascinating, right?
Right.
So, if there's a benefit for me to go in an interview with someone like Turkey Tom and talk to his audience or whatever, then maybe it's worth it, right? But that's what I have to really analyze here. It's not a matter of, oh, is it going to be overly positive or overly negative? Because if you want to know the truth, I don't think it would be either. I feel like there would be positives and negatives. There's going to be times when he's going to talk about stuff that I've done wrong, stuff that he feels that I probably should be called out for, right? To which I'm going to fess up, yeah, I probably did fuck up a lot. I'm a human. I made many, many mistakes in the 15 years I've been a YouTuber. I've had situations where I absolutely know I made the wrong decision. I treated people badly. I made bad business decisions
That's
for sure.
Incorrect. That's so incorrect. Because he didn't feel bad about guilt-tripping Howard into going to his little going-away party. Didn't feel anything about that. Didn't feel bad about it. Didn't think... He didn't even really give Howard any leeway. Because he didn't even understand that... Because the whole fucking react, he kept saying, why is Howard upset? Oh, I was friends with John. But it's like Howard was involved in their content, though. And he interacted with you. Like, maybe he thought you were his friend. And then you're just like, she's not my friend, huh? Whatever. So you kind of like led him on for all these years and didn't give a fuck that he was upset. And then he kept discrediting him. That's him realizing that he was a bad person back then, even though he triple downed on treating Howard like shit. Like, that makes you look good? Oh, okay, sure, Phil.
And it hurt me. And then that rolls over to my audience, because when you're someone who's crowdfunded, well, now guess who the responsibility goes on to keep me going? The viewers.
Wait, and what?
It hurt me. And then that rolls over to my audience, because when you're someone who's crowdfunded, well, now guess who the responsibility goes on to keep me going?
I'm when I first heard this, because I didn't hear this when it was new, and now I just am floored. Because they already are responsible for supporting you. Anyway. What? Okay, maybe I stopped too soon.
Viewers. Because I have no other source of income. And that's not fair, right? And that's happened many times over the years, right?
What?
So, yeah, there's rightfully things that he could easily call me out for. And say, you did this wrong, should you have done this better, blah, blah, blah. But here's the other thing, too.
I am so confused. Because he's crowdfunded now, so he's gonna say that, like, I just want to hear this again.
Because when you're someone who's crowdfunded decision, I treated people badly, I made bad business decisions for sure, and it hurt me. And then that rolls over to my audience, because when you're someone who's crowdfunded, well, now guess who the responsibility goes on to keep me going? The viewers. Because I have no other source of income, and that's not fair, right? And that's happened many times over the years, right? So, yeah.
What does he mean? I don't understand. Because he's already crowdfunded. He doesn't get sponsorships because he doesn't believe in them, right? Or is it because the trolls get rid of sponsorships? I don't know anymore. He was with Machinima. He was with Machinima, then Curse, but they laid him off. Okay. He doesn't want to do interviews for money. So, what, like, I just don't understand. What does he mean by this? That he'll do the interview, they'll say he did stuff wrong, but the responsibility will fall onto the viewers, but that's part of being crowdfunded, but that's not fair. But you're already being crowdfunded, though. What? Is he saying that, like, if Turkey Dub says, well, you're begging for tips and this and that, that's wrong. He's like, well, I'm crowdfunded. Like, okay, but you brag about not taking opportunities, though. This dude, like, it's so weird. Does he want people to just pat him on the back for not taking opportunities? Is that what he's looking for? I mean, if he doesn't want to take opportunities, that's fine. That's his decision. But people could also say it's a bad decision, and he could just live with that. I mean, his audience obviously doesn't give a fuck anyway. Like, this is bizarre.
There's
bizarre
rightfully
stance.
things that he could easily call me out for and say, you did this wrong, should you have done this better, blah, blah, blah. But here's the other thing, too, all right? I could do that by myself. Like, I just did. Did I not? Did I not literally just do that right now and say, yeah, it's wrong when I make bad choices and those choices result in negativity, and that negativity hurts my business, and now that responsibility to keep the business going is on the viewers because I'm a crowd-funded guy.
It's already on the viewers, though! It already is! It already is! It already is! This dude is so stupid. What does he mean? Because when the paycheck was on the weekend, who did he go to get money? The bank? No, he went to his viewers. He told them to worry about his paycheck being delayed. He tells them about the bills all the time. Not all the time, but like enough, okay? Because that's part of the reason. He tells us about the day off. And the impending day off all the time, and how we need to pay attention to streams. We can't have slow streams, guys. That's not giving the responsibility on the viewers. Then why do you tell us about slow streams then? For fun? Oh, because he can't afford RoboCop and Mario at the same time, guys. Like, dude, shut up. You already do. You couldn't buy RoboCop on your own. You had to get 3 copies donated to you. He couldn't do giveaways on his own. He needs people to give him stuff to give away. What are you talking about? Like, this shit is insane. Man, I can't wrap my mind around this. And it gets worse as we go on. This dude is insane. He needs help. Like, god damn it, man.
I just said it, right? Ultimately, I don't want it to be like that forever. But right now, that's just how
you do. You do, though. You do. You do. Because you brag about not taking sponsors. You brag about it. And you're afraid to use other Teespring-like websites because you might get canceled. But you have nothing to gain because none of the designs are made from you. They're given to you to sell. And all you have to do is upload. That's the only risk you do. And you can sell it, and then whatever happens, happens. But he can't even do that. He needs so much security to do something that takes zero risk from him. It is so insane. He's like, I can't do anything, man. Like, how much does your fans have to do for you to do something? Do they need to also sponsor you? Do they need to make a firm to sponsor you too? Oh my god!
Right? There's nothing I can really do about that. That's the situation I'm in. So, I can easily self-analyze too. The thing is, do my viewers really care for this? Right? Is this something that they're interested in? Probably not. Again, this is more appealing to a bigger audience, a different audience than my normal viewership.
And it's so funny to me that in the Daily Wrap, we're not going to watch it because this video is going to be long enough. He says, well, I talk about the Tricky Tom stuff, you can skip it. Like, it's so suspicious that he tells people, yeah, I do talk about drama, you want to skip it. He tells you to skip it. Because look what he's telling you. He's telling you pretty much that the responsibility is on you. And he wants you to move on. Like, he wants to stop doing it, but he doesn't. He does no action that weans you away. He doesn't want to do a PC fundraiser because he's terrified that they're not going to give him money after that. Like, this dude is such a piece of shit. Like, this is kind of scummy for him just to say nonchalantly. He is so lucky his audience have zero critical thought. If they could just think for themselves for like a second, they would bounce. Because I can't imagine anyone saying this shit and not getting like ripped a new one. Like, imagine a big streamer were to go on camera to talk like this.
Understand? So really, there's so many factors involved to thinking if I should do this interview or not. All right, there's a lot of thought goes into this.
What's
okay.
That?
So enough beating around the bush. Let me tell you what happened last night. All this feedback is coming in. All right? And I'm like, all right, the last thing I'm going to do before I go to sleep, all right, I'm going to watch this supposed response video that Turkey Tom made a few days ago. Because I guess like 4 days ago, he made a response video about me responding to things he has said, or people told me about things that he had said about me in the documentary. So I responded to it. He watched clips of that, and then he responded to those clips, right? It was about a 20-minute video. I said, so here's what I'm going to do.
Wait, what?
Told me about things that he had said about me in the documentary, so I responded to it. He watched clips of that, and then he responded to those clips, right? It was about a 20-minute video. I said, so here's what I'm going to do.
What I'm going to do?
I'm going to watch the video, and I'm going to sleep on it. And I'm going to have all this feedback that I've gotten, you know, and I'm probably going to get more feedback overnight, which I did, by the way. So thank you to everyone who continuously gave me feedback overnight. All right? And I said, all right, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to try to figure this out, what I want to do. So that's what I did. I watched the 20-minute Turkey Tom, I guess it was on his alternate channel, his response video to what I had been saying. All right? Now, here's what I can tell you. This is the only content of Turkey Tom's I've ever seen. All right? He's a well-spoken individual. He's an intelligent individual.
Oh, my God.
He can formulate coherent thoughts.
Dude, why the fuck do you talk like this? He fixed coherent thought. He speaks very nicely. Are you evaluating everyone like you're a fucking teacher or whatever the fuck? Like, are you analyzing all of these people's IQ, whatever the fuck, whatever videos they could put out? Like, who the fuck talks like this? He's well spoken. Like, come on, man, shut up.
Aren't just dumb, insulting memes, which is already insane amount of points past anyone who would be considered one of my hate watchers or these idiotic memester morons on the internet who literally all they do is misrepresent me all day. The guy's leaps and bounds better than them.
Yeah, because like there's some stuff that Tom says that's like kind of like lowball shit. I mean, he like the other thing I do take a little criticism on his fucking documentary, and I think that he is way too generous saying that DSP is self-aware because he thinks that. Because the State of K2 tweet, he mentioned saying, well, DSP knows that, like, he knew that it was hypocritical of him to say this because he got early copies himself. That never happened. He never even addressed that. The reason why DSP went back on and apologized was because he was being harassed on Twitter. Not harassed. That implies that he was innocent. He just kept getting ratioed and bodied in quote retries, quote tweets and all this stuff. So he just apologized to shut them up. He didn't mean the apology. It's really like, oh, you're upset. Okay, I'm sorry, and then he moved on. It's one of those apologies that he has given to so many people, to the point where John even mentions that, and Tom just gives him the benefit of the doubt on it, and it's like. Yeah, this is way too generous. Like, that's giving him way too much credit. Because he is the least self-aware person. He contradicts himself every day. Like, there's no way. No way. So, of course, DSP is like, well, he has some good points, man. Because he gives him way too much. And it's to the point I kind of wonder if he purposely gives him lowballs to, like, kind of butter him up. Or if he really does think that he has self-reflection, you know? So I kind of wonder if you could kind of look at one or the other.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
He's actually, like, out to tell a story and or his take on a story, and it's entertaining. Like, the 20-minute video...
But he says this, and the other thing is, like, this is the other thing that was getting a little bit hung up on when Turkey Tom became relevant to DSP. I do remember there was a time I posted a Turkey Tom video, and someone commented saying that they don't really like his videos because it seems to be skewed a little bit. He kind of skews some of the videos that he makes or whatever. It was something like that, to be honest. I can't remember exactly, and it kind of like, and I just was like, man, I guess that could happen. I was like wondering about this, and that was the other thing I was kind of like torn on. I was like, I don't know necessarily how Turkey Tom is in the public eye in sense of general opinion. So that's why I was like, I don't know. He could make good videos, I'm sure, but I do think that I've heard some people like in the past say that he does kind of misrepresent some of the videos that he talks about. And I think that could be the case for a lot of his videos, but again, it's been so long since I've been in that discourse, because I think it was either Christian or not Tricky Tom's video on Mr. Enter. Is one of those two people that that I was talking about, and they're like, yeah, his video on this is not that accurate and all that. So it's like something like that. But of course, DSP is gonna give him praise, and I said before that his video isn't necessarily bad, but it's just some stuff that he gives him a little too much credit, and I think that, I
found entertaining. I was a little weirded because he was playing Metroid Prime instead of talking. Like, he was talking, but it was Metroid Prime, and I'm like, I don't remember people doing that kind of stuff for ages. Like, people used to do that on YouTube back in the day.
People still do it, though.
People, especially who were camera shy, they would actually have, like, gameplay.
And then like, they assume that it's because they're camera shy. DSP, not everyone wants to show their face to, like, a website. I know, shocker. Some people just don't want to do it because, guess what? People who show their face sometimes get harassed more, so they don't show their face so they don't get made fun of. It may not have to do anything with being camera shy.
In the background while they talked over it, and their vlog would be them talking over gameplay. I haven't seen that in ages. Like, that's old shit. Wings of Redemption used to do over a decade ago, and I was like, that's a little weird. That was in the video, and that's just a straight up criticism, but that's not a negative. Like, it's not, the video wasn't horrible. I'm just saying it was weird. Why not be on camera talking if you have something to say rather than show completely unrelated gameplay? That it was actually distracting. I was like, why am I watching Metroid Prime? I don't even understand why this is on the screen. I want to see the person.
Oh my god. Look how much of a fucking idiot he is. Look how much of a fucking drone. Why am I watching Metroid Prime? Because obviously it's just a ramble video, and he just kind of assumes you're gonna switch to a different tab. Like, the important stuff isn't what's shown, it's what's being said. Like, not everyone has a narcissism complex where you must see the YouTuber in the video to understand what's going on. This dude is such a fucking drone.
Subject matter. I don't want to watch Metroid Prime. It was very weird. Okay? But hey, there's people who do it all the time, whatever.
Whatever.
Essentially what he said in this 20-minute video is, first of all, he defended his stance on naming the video 10 Years of Failure, essentially saying, well, Phil doesn't feel he's a failure. He's in a great mental space. Good for him. And if he does,
it's kind of funny. He never said the title was subjective until he did this podcast, and now magically it's subjective. He needed Tricky Tom to tell him that for him to realize it's subjective. Like, look how much he has to like hear from other people to get ideas.
Doesn't want to be in drama, and he's happy. Good for him. I'm happy for him. But that doesn't mean that essentially he couldn't have been better, that he couldn't have made better decisions, and that for the last 10 years, he's been on the decline, and I consider that failure. So really, it's a perspective thing. You know? I don't consider it failure. I would consider it absolutely decline, or, like I said, a downward slope. I don't think that it's failure, because failure would be, I'm insanely desperate, I'm going out of business.
Okay.
I would consider it absolutely decline, or, like I said, he's been on the decline, and I consider that failure. So really, it's a perspective thing. You know? I don't consider it failure. I would consider it absolutely decline, or, like I said.
So then why did you consider Rich or ReviewTech a failure? He's not begging on stream. He's not going on stream saying, guys, I'm going out of business right now. Ah! He doesn't do that. Why is he a failure then, Phil? You called him a failure. Huh, interesting.
A downward slope? I don't think that it's failure, because failure would be, I'm insanely desperate, I'm going out of business, right? I don't have any other recourse. Everything is falling apart at the seams here, right? So I'm desperate, and I'm doing crazy stunts for money every day, like sucking cucumbers and kissing chickens. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not me.
Because he does this. But why is that a stupid stunt? But putting on hats and like, he says like, oh well, I'm not doing like sexual stuff with my vest and hat or whatever. But he calls those stupid though. He says I look stupid in them. That's not doing a stupid stunt when you call it stupid. But Rich doing a stunt is stupid and it's bad. So if the determining factor is one's stupid but one's not, but you call both things stupid, then how do you tell the difference? Well, so again, why? So it goes back to my initial question: why is Rich a failure? Because he does a stupid stunt, but you call doing glasses and looking like and all that stuff being stupid, stupid fun. But Rich can't do stupid fun. He needs to do the correct stupid fun, not what he's doing. Because sucking on cucumbers is really bad. Okay.
I like taking stabs at Review Tech USA because I can't believe he still does that shit. But
he likes to take stabs at a guy who he said he doesn't want to talk about anymore, and he's dead to him. Still takes stabs at him, but he's not negative. He doesn't attack people though, but just constantly only attacks Rich. Literally only Rich. The only person he like actively makes fun of. But that's okay because he sucks on cucumbers. What a nice guy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the case.
And then he gets mad when Rich gets mad at him and makes fun of him, right? So DSP gets mad at Rich for focusing on him fapping. But DSP seems to like constantly have a problem with Rich sucking on a cucumber. You know, a lot of people like make like a joke that DSP is like a closeted person, but it kind of like is very sus that he gets so triggered about Rich sucking on cucumbers. Like it's to the point. It says something.
I'm still someone who's true to myself, makes the content that I enjoy and my viewers enjoy. I have a full, you know, this belief system that
He says this, and then, as I said before, how does he know that Rich viewers don't enjoy Rich's content? Like, he still gets viewers, Phil. He still gets money. So, doesn't that mean that people are enjoying his content?
Stand by, and I can still do that, and I'm still successful. I'm still operating a successful business. So, again, I disagree with him saying it's a failure. He thinks that's failure. That's a subjective thing. And he has the right, and he even says,
why would your viewers decline if you're not a failure though? Why would people leave watching if you're not a failure?
Whatever. I titled it to try to make it entertaining. I get it. It's called clickbait. You know, it is. It's a clickbait title. You want people to watch the documentary, you make it overly dramatic. You have a thumbnail of me insanely close up. Like this. Like this is the thumbnail of the video that he made.
It's just a face that's on his fucking thumbnail. How is it any different from his own thumbnails? Go to DSP Reacts. Look at all the thumbnails. And it's just his face. But man, you got a point there,
like
Phil.
This. Like you could see the boogers in my nose. And you could see like, hi, a decade of failure. Hi, how are you? Right? It's like, I get it. That's YouTube. That's the shtick of YouTube. That's what you do, right? People are like, Jesus, stop. Back up.
Wow, he really
what?
enjoyed that.
You don't like getting up close and personal with your favorite YouTuber? You don't like that? Here, what's in my mouth? Do you like that?
Okay.
Okay, let's
really
relax for a second here. Now we're just being silly, okay?
Like they got filed down, which is not good, man. Don't file down your canines. Right. You need them.
Everyone calm down. Everyone just relax. I got more to say. Okay?
Relax. I was just doing clown mode, okay? Calm down.
So, again, continuing on with the video. There's a few things about the video, this 20-minute video that Turkey Tom made, that sometimes in the video, he says things, and I'm like, wow, that really resonates. That sounds great. And then he'll say something that immediately, like, contradicts it and makes it feel like almost like a red flag. And let me tell you. So, he'll be like,
you know,
he said to his audience, he wants to keep out of drama, and I respect that, and I get that. If he really is happy in his mental space where he is, and he likes what he's doing, then there's no reason, for him to do anything further, But then he'll say immediately after that, but if he would just watch my 2-hour documentary and do a big live react to it, That would be good content
How is
for
that
him.
contradicting? He just said if DSP doesn't want to participate in drama, that's fine. But I think if he reacted to this, he would get more money. He didn't say he shouldn't do this, but he should do this. He said if he doesn't want to do it, that's fine, but I think he should. That's not contradicting. That's not how it works. I really want to know, how did this dude learn English? Who taught him? A fucking pig? No, pigs are actually smart. They're smart animals, apparently. So not a pig. I don't know. I can't even think of something that's so stupid. It would give him incorrect terms. He doesn't get what sour grapes mean. He didn't know what a rainy day fund is. Like, who raised him? Like, I don't get it. Like, man, if I had a kid, I would not send them to the fucking school he went to. If that's what he got out of it, I think all those kids are fucked. If you know, if this is this kid that they produced, like, goddamn, they need to close that school. That Catholic school is bad news. You know, at this point, to send them to public school, they'll already be better off than Catholic school, apparently. Holy shit. I don't even think Greek school is that bad. And I didn't even stay that long. I was there for like, I don't even remember. That's how long it was. I don't even remember.
That would be good content for me, because then I could re-react
I just remember
back to
hating
his
it.
reaction, and then we could do more. And I was like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, so I get
I'm being
it.
confused
What it
because
is,
I think they only spoke Greek. I was like, I
there
don't know
is
what's
now
going on here.
a community on YouTube, okay? It's a vicious circle kind of a deal.
Wait, hold up.
Like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, so I react to it. That would be good content for him. That would be good content for me, because then I could re-react back to his reaction, and then we could do more. And I was like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, so
He was just saying, like, he'll get new information, and he could either update the documentary, or he'd have like another like thing to go on or whatever. I mean, how does DSP think that there's multiple Wings documentaries? I mean, they just don't materialize.
I get it. What it is there is now a community on YouTube, okay? It's a vicious circle kind of a deal, where someone says,
Just keep in mind, this dude has a career of saying how there's a whole drama toxic community on YouTube, is now just acting as if he just discovered this.
something, and it could be innocuous. It could be like a little comment. Someone responds to it, then someone responds back to it. Then the reaction community watches the statement, the response of the response, and they create the next level of content out of it.
Dude, the reason this happens is literally because you're responding to it. Because if you didn't want the drama to happen, this is a crazy idea, Phil. It may just work. You just do what you want to do. Play video games and shut the fuck up. If he just did that, again, I said this many times, around 2018, 2019, maybe 2020, around that time period, his content, there was really nothing going on. Like, there were some stuff, odds and ends, but it wasn't really to any extent, like, at all. For some fucking reason, for some unholy, unknowing reason, this year, it's like he decided he's gonna say a lot of stupid shit for no real reason. Like, it just got worse. It started in 2022, I want to say, maybe 2021, and it just got worse and worse and worse. It's almost to the point, I wonder if he's just trying to make his own little drama cycle to monetize off of. That's just an inclusive little circle. Like, that's what it's kind of coming off as at this point. He's just saying stuff to trigger a video like this to happen. Is this some kind of 4D chess situation? I don't think so, because I don't think DSP's that smart. Okay, I'll just say I don't think he's that smart. I just think he just loves the sound of his fucking voice. It is so insane how he's saying this shit, but it's just, if he just said I don't want to do the Tricky Tom video, what's there to say? But instead he says this, which is probably gonna get a response from someone. Like, come on.
And it just becomes this giant circle of spinning content of people all reacting to drama. All right? And you might think, well, that's the healthy YouTube ecosystem, right?
But this is bullshit, because there was a small little rabbit hole I went to one day. I was on Kiwi Farms. I was reading about DSP. Then I was just curious about these other like people like I used to like kind of follow and thought were just also lolcows. Like Digibro's a lolcow at one point. I think Digibro still is, by the way. Whatever. All these other people. I somehow stumbled into Mega64 having a small little thread on Kiwi Farms, and there was stuff that happened like I don't remember when, maybe last year or this year. I don't remember, but it was this kind of just kind of came and went, and that was it. Like if you know, you know. If you don't, it's not really important because it doesn't really go anywhere because none of the people at Mega64 fucking sit there and talk about it. I think Roku made one statement about it and then he moved on. And then that was it. Like, feel whatever about it, whatever, but that's it. There was no one harped on it. There was no like a cycle of videos going on about it because they're busy doing their own stuff. DSP is spending so much time on stuff he thinks is beneath him, but he keeps giving it the time. As he tells us, he doesn't care. It's the literal meme. It's the literal meme. Guys, I don't care about DSP. I don't care about him. Alright, let's get back to this 10-hour DSP video, okay?
That's absolutely what it's all about. Because when you do that, you could get more outside eyes on you. You could get some prominence. You could get some people to maybe watch what you're doing, right? It's all good for everybody, okay? Okay.
Okay.
But you have to understand that's only looks like that to the people who are in the inside of it, okay?
What?
So I will say this directly to Turkey Tom and others who like this kind of content. All right, I understand there's nothing wrong with you liking that. But you have to understand something. I'm 41 years old, all right? So I've been through a hell of a lot more in my life than most people who are watching this content.
Oh my god, dude. Are you 41? Okay. You don't act like it at all. There's people who are in their 30s that act more mature than you. This is not maturity. Just sitting there bragging about how mature you are. That's what children do. Literal children. Or as you like to say, small children, because apparently there's a difference.
I can tell you, from the outside, from people who are not in that vortex, you see it as a spinning circle of content, and it's all healthy, and even though it's dramatic, it's all in good fun, and it's growth, and it's everyone getting views and money, right? For me, I'm outside of it, and I'm looking down on top of all of this, okay? Do you want to know what it looks like?
Of course, he's looking down on it. Of course he is.
Like to me, it looks like a spinning toilet. It looks like a toilet full of shit, and someone hit the flush, okay, and everyone's just spinning in a big circle in this endless spinning toilet that won't flush. It just keeps getting darker and browner and darker and browner.
Yeah, but you know what this looks like? It looks like a dude took a shit in the toilet bowl and doesn't want to flush it because he likes the smell of it. But he also would tell you he doesn't like it. But then once you're not looking, he looks at it. He's like, "Ah, oh, yeah," and he has a big grin on his face. That's what it looks like when I'm watching this.
More people watch and contribute and comment and insult and extrapolate and make it worse and worse and worse. Do you get it? Because for me, when I started on YouTube 15 years ago, all right, I got into YouTube because it was a hobby. It was something to do. I actually previously had been someone who was traveled a lot and was actually more athletic. And I hurt my back.
What?
So I couldn't do that.
He was more athletic. Shut up. Get out of here. Shut up.
So instead, I decided that I was going to get back into console gaming. And I just started making these silly commentary videos, raging at games, drinking, getting shit-faced drunk, and just, ranting at games. And they actually blew up in popularity, right? And I didn't expect that. But it certainly wasn't anything that I took seriously. And then over the next 3 to 4 years...
I just want to like mention this. He got popular because he looked like he was having fun, but now he wants to take it seriously, which means he can't drink and stream anymore. He can't drink at all unless it's a special marathon event, and he has to be careful what he said or whatever, what he does now, right? So why would people watch him now? Isn't sterilizing your content making it less fun? Because he thinks it's immature and bad content if you do a stream and you're just switching between games. But that doesn't make sense because who sits and plays that like one game for like 5 hours? Like, and not because they like the game. No. They're forcing it because they have a schedule to uphold. They don't just play as long as they want, and then you're like, oh, I want to play this other game now. You know, like sometimes I play Alan Wake 2, then I was like, okay, this is a game too stressful. I'll save here, and then I'll play Guilty Gear. You know what I mean?
The fact that I took this ridiculous, silly attitude of nonchalantly making content, not being professional, and somehow blew up on YouTube. It's a miracle. It's a lucky story. It's a definitely right place, right time kind of a deal, because a million other people have tried to do it after me and failed, but I somehow succeeded. Don't ask me why. Or
he had a vlogging channel at the same time that was making money, and that's how you could make money on YouTube back then. But okay, how was he successful?
Maybe, again, just a lucky dude, right?
Lucky dude, man.
But in all the years that I made content, all right, 15 years, by the way, that I've been a YouTuber, and out of those 15, 13 years, this has been my job, you'd probably be hard-pressed to watch that content and look and say, oh, in that time frame, Phil's really done horrible, awful things that hurt others here and 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 here. In reality, it's more like Phil did something stupid to hurt himself, right? Phil did this and that was dumb. He didn't change.
So he's saying that he's hurting himself, but is he just trying to revise history to say that I didn't hurt anyone, even though he told us he did, but now he's saying that he didn't really hurt anyone, he's hurting himself? Okay.
He didn't do the right things early on to stay in with the times, right? He idiotically did this, and he
But that's not being a failure, though. Refusing to change.
For how many years and ignored his live audience? I mean, that's so boneheaded. I know that now, but I didn't understand that back then. I streamed for like 4 years and never spoke to my live audience. What?
He did, by the way. That's not really true. There's a 2016 pre-stream when Street Fighter 5 was coming out, and he responded to like what I said in chat because I said Dhalsim is annoying or whatever, and he said, "Well, this guy says Dhalsim's annoying, so like he's kind of dumb." I don't remember, but I know you read my comment because I talked about Dhalsim, and I still dislike Dhalsim, man. He sucks. Fuck him.
Fucking moronic move, right? So I get that.
I get that.
But if you look at what I've made, the content that I've done, maybe you could argue early on when I first started making content, there was some really dumb things I said and did. Because at that point, I didn't understand
the
still
power does,
of YouTube.
Though.
I didn't
because
get that.
Honestly, he's gonna bring up the Minecraft thing. But think about it like this. He's like, now when he wants to shit on like popular games, he like tippy toes around it. Well, they're just popular because of meme streamers that just it's gonna be a fad and it's like not gonna be a real game or whatever. Like look how you talk about Cult of the Lamb, and it's like Cult of the Lamb is still a good game. It's still kind of fun, man. Whatever.
I said something on YouTube that I had a big audience that listened and actually took that as like truth because they looked up to me almost like an idol, which is crazy to think because I never thought of myself as anything important. I just thought I was just a Joe Nobody playing games and dicking around and having fun. And it was a miracle that anyone wanted to watch me or anything like that. But yeah, a lot of the things that I said early on were very irresponsible and you could be considered toxic and stuff like that.
It's just dumb because the reason why people had an issue with it wasn't that he thought that. It was just that like he was being so petty about it. Like you can dislike a game for being popular all you want, but it's not really like worth the energy to keep crying about the game being popular. Like there are people who like Sony games now, like people like God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2. Like is it really worth making it your personality to fucking shit on those games? Like it's not worth it. You gotta sit there and like, yeah, these games are whatever and move on. Like to make that your personality is something else, man.
An active change in my life to be a better person, to stop.
And he was also mocking people for liking the game. He could like it's not that he just didn't like the game. It was just that he was making fun of people who liked it.
Toxic content, and I feel like I am much better today than I was 15 years ago. And you just take a look, the content's like night and day from what it used to be. And some people say, well, it's more boring. Yeah, but also doesn't hurt anyone. It's not hurtful content.
Oh my god, it's more boring. Yeah, well, it's not hurting anyone. That's a good attitude to have, I guess, if you just want to make boring ass content, but shouldn't you also prioritize making fun content? Didn't he say that he wants to make his content fun and now it's more fun than ever, but now he's saying that, well, his content is boring, but now it's safe. Like, that's like FromSoft deciding, well, since people are complaining, we're just gonna make the game super easy and it's just a hallway. I mean, yeah, it's boring, but now people are happy now. But it's like, that's not a solution to the problem. I mean, the solution could just be that they either make a game that's specifically geared for people who want an easier FromSoft experience, or just say, look, these are not your games or whatever. And at this point, I don't even think, because there's always a debate about this in FromSoft, but I don't even think at this point FromSoft is gonna really cave and give an easy mode. I think people are afraid of it happening, but I don't think FromSoft is gonna cave and do it, because FromSoft has proven that this genre is successful. Like, if FromSoft was making stinker after stinker and not selling, then they probably would add an easy mode. But they've proven that their games are successful, and they don't have to worry about getting told, hey, you need to add an easy mode. Okay, we need to sell these games or all this stuff, because they've proven that they could be profitable with the games that they made. DSP doesn't have any of that. He makes a boring piece of content, and it's still not profitable. It was probably when it was more energetic, I suppose, but it's still nothing else. Like, that's where he's at this point. Just because he's making boring content that's not toxic doesn't mean it's good, or that's what he should strive to make. It really just shows the lack of understanding of what the problem was, and how bad of a problem solver DSP is as a person. If that's how he solves problems, I mean, no wonder the helicopter company laid him off. Because this is not a good change. Again, it's like why he complains that I changed and people don't give me the chance. Just because you change doesn't mean you change for the better. You can change for the worse, and for that to be true as well. And he doesn't have any inclination to make his content better. Just do more stuff and then beg for more money. It's just a bad attitude.
I, every night, can go to sleep and say, I had a good day today. I loved the game I played. I interacted with my audience. We had great conversation. Hey, I made money. I supported my family. And I go to sleep soundly. As opposed to, oh, well, what did I do today? Well, someone had a really bad day. This drama happened and they did something stupid. So I made a video about it, and I just basically, ripped them a new asshole for 2 hours. And then everyone came to my stream. We all made fun of them. And it was great because everyone laughed at them and their misfortunes. And I made a bunch of money. There's a little difference there between the styles of content.
But what's going on here, though? He did a video, right? Okay. That, DSP could respond to it saying, well, it's pretty cool, man. And then, or whatever. Whatever, okay.
Do you understand? And again, if you're in the YouTube vortex of that spinning content creation cycle, maybe you think there's nothing wrong with that. But for people outside of it, we look into it and we're like, what the hell? People.
Then why does he get a lot of views? Okay. I mean, whatever.
That's acceptable. People behave like that. Why would you want to be a part of that shit? Why would you ever want to get sucked into that stuff? Okay? Allow me to tell you a story.
DSP watched fucking Down the Rabbit Hole and June the King videos. Okay.
And I have never told this story publicly before. I will tell this story to everyone right now publicly because I think this actually is very appropriate to the situation. All right? Last year, before all this drama with the Lol Cow podcast, okay, I was friendly with Boogie. Over the years, we had a few conversations behind the scenes, back and forth.
Just remember, we're just talking about the Turkey Tom interview, and now we're talking about Boogie. Okay.
Conversations, very short ones, brief ones, a little, how you doing? Hope you're doing all right, or whatever, back and forth, like Twitter DMs and shit like that, right?
Wait, what? I want to hear this.
Not long conversations, very short ones, brief ones, a little,
He was being friendly to Boogie. Why?
How you doing? Hope you're doing all right, or whatever.
I really have a hard time believing that, because why Boogie of all people? There's all these other people that talk to him. Doesn't DM them. No. Boogie? Ah, yes. Let's talk to Boogie, my best friend. Okay.
Back and forth, like Twitter DMs and shit like that, right?
Are they because they're not big enough?
Okay.
Like
and
he claimed to be friends with Brian and Kekon and Jake James Lugo. Does he talk to them in DMs? No. Barely talks to them. He talks to his mods sometimes, but that's sometimes.
one of the conversations that we had was about particularly working together on something. And at this point, there was a situation where we were talking early on about this Lolcow podcast and the possibility and stuff like that, right? And I'm going to paraphrase it, all right? I'm not going to sit here and read the direct DMs I had with Boogie. This was over a year ago. So again, this was before any of the drama of this year or anything like that. But basically, the conversation we had, and this, I really feel, this is the difference between myself and the other people who people consider lolcows, all right? When you look at the Wings of Redemptions, when you look at the Boogies, and you look at these people, all right?
He really thinks that being a lolcow is just you're in a desperate position where you're crying all the time and all this stuff. But you're a lolcow when you start having these weird long tangents about stuff that you don't really need to talk about. Like, all of this is just stuff he doesn't need to talk about. Like, that's all this is. That's all this is.
Here's the difference between me and them. All right? And this is what you're going to understand. It's a lot different. As we're having this conversation, we're talking about the possibility of working with Keemstar on a podcast or whatever, right? So basically...
Okay, so back then, even back then, DSP said he doesn't want to do anything with Keemstar, and he was flirting with the idea of doing stuff with Keemstar. Honest guy, man.
Boogie said something to the effect, and by the way, I think this stream is about to play ads. No, I'm telling a story. I'm going to skip the ads, okay? Basically,
so he can now skip ads. Just remember that he can skip it, because I definitely feel this is one of the things he would say he can't do if it's a normal day.
He equated it. I know this is weird because I didn't bring this up. He did. Boogie actually said something to the effect of the way he sees YouTube or how YouTube is kind of like Walmart. All right? So let's think about that. It's kind of like Walmart.
Oh my god.
Well,
yeah, we all know DSP's opinion on fucking Walmart.
Walmart, everyone knows, is a pretty bad business, right? Walmart comes into town with the lowest prices.
Oh my god, dude. Like,
the lowest...
Dude, sure. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I love Walmart, but man, I do not care this much to tell you how much I hate it. Holy shit, man. This is just fucking sad to hear. It's just like, because to an extent, I get why people shop there. Like, sure, it sucks, but it is what it is. Like, it's, come on.
Cost for their products. And when a Walmart comes to town, they sweep in and they take over. They could cause all the small businesses in a town to go completely out of business. All right? They, sadly, underpay and mistreat their employees. It's well documented.
Does he care? Like, honestly, does he care about these employees? Because he shits on Call of Duty, and those people were crunched, man. He only cares for sound bites. He's so fake about everything. He's really just the fakest guy you could find.
This, okay? And the employees are overworked, underpaid, not trained, right? They'll have someone who's a door greeter, who's an elderly person. This is their job. This is great. They have a living. Oh, you're fired. We don't need you anymore. Why? What did I do? You didn't do anything wrong. We just don't want to pay you anymore. Bye. Right? This is how they are.
That's just being laid off. People lay people off for that reason all the time. And it's bad, sure. Like, it's fucked up when big companies that are successful companies lay off people because you just want to save money. That's always what it is. But what can you do? I mean, you can complain about it, you can be upset about it, but I mean, it's not. This is not a Walmart exclusive thing. He acts as if Walmart's the only company to do this. It's like every company. That's what sucks about it, man.
Their company.
I feel like he's trying to bait me into sounding like a fucking socialist, but you know what? I don't care. I'm all about people getting paid a living wage, man. That's right.
There's countless stories of Walmart being a bad company in this regard. Now, Walmart is a fine company. They don't break laws. They do everything law-abiding, and, they're on the up and up.
Wait. So it's law-abiding to mistreat your employees? I mean, I guess they're using the law to abuse their employees, but then it's like the issue of the law, man. But whatever. Okay.
But, man, when they come in, they can completely wipe clean a small town, and now the whole town's focused on the Walmart, right? Now, you could...
I had a Walmart, move in near me. It was kind of a stupid Walmart because it was just a grocery store Walmart, which is like... In my area, we already have 2 supermarkets, so adding a third one is just like, you might as well just go out of business immediately. Because it's like, why would you go there when you could go to, like, these other supermarkets? Whatever. That moved in and that went out of business pretty fast. And it was just like, what was the point? I think now there's a Target, and that's still going strong because Target, it's actually a kind of a full-blown Target because it actually has other stuff than just food. So that's probably why it's surviving better than the fucking Walmart did.
Argue positives and negatives about that, right? So basically, Boogie said this to me. Again, I'm paraphrasing, and he said something like, when you look at people like working with Keemstar or working with other people on YouTube, this drama content on YouTube, he says, you look at it like Walmart. Like, Walmart has a ton of blood on their hands, but you still shop there, right? Because it benefits you.
So, okay, I got another question. Okay, there's a lot of questions that are just forming. DSP tells us how he's a man of his word and all this of integrity, ethical, whatever the fuck he wants to brag himself about today, whatever, right? Boogie says that to him, and DSP still wanted to do a podcast with him after that, because again, this was a year ago, and he tried to still do the podcast this year with him until he was working with Keemstar, but Boogie pretty much told him back then, yeah, Phil, Keemstar is a cool guy. I know he has blood on his hands, but I still want to work with him. And he still wanted to work with him, then act surprised that Boogie was working with Keem. He thinks this is a good statement to make. He sounds like a fucking idiot. All these statements, I'm starting to notice this trend where DSP says something that he thinks that it's going to be very poignant and all this stuff, but it always makes him look stupid. And then tells you that he's the smartest guy in the room. But he's stupid. The dude told him back then that, well, Keem is like Walmart. He has blood on his hands, but, sometimes you gotta work with him. And he's like, wait, huh? Wait, Boogie's gonna work with Keem? I didn't know that! What the fuck? That's like if someone told DSP, I'm gonna stab you in the back, okay? Oh, okay, man. And then next year, he stabs you in the back. You stabbed me in the back! What the fuck? This dude, man.
Benefit to you and your family. The lowest prices, right? You get decent quality products, the lowest prices. Everyone still shops there. Despite the fact this is not a great company, you still kind of just do it. You bite the bullet, right?
Right.
And he said that to me. Because, again, we were having a conversation about the possibility of working together and stuff like that. I said, Boogie, I want you to understand something. I don't shop at Walmart. I never have. In my entire life, I've shopped at Walmart once. And it was at the height of the popularity of Street Fighter IV. They were the only store that had Street Fighter IV joysticks. And at that time, I was buying and modding joysticks.
So look how desperate this dude is, right? If you really had such morals against Walmart, you would have found another way to get fight sticks. Because there's no way Walmart was the only place where you could buy fight sticks. Like, no way.
On the internet as a project. So I had to buy it from them. They were the only company.
And that's kind of scummy too. He buys a fight stick to sell online, to resell it. Holy shit. Not only is DSP pretty much, what's it called? Why am I blinking on the term? Oh my god. Scalper. Not only did he scalp fucking fight sticks, which are honestly like no reason to, because I mean it's not like fight sticks were a hot commodity at all, but he scalped fight sticks to sell online. Meanwhile, he shat on all these people who were reselling PlayStations or giving them away. That's funny too. I almost forgot that too. He hated someone for buying a PS5 that was gonna give it away.
available to buy them from. And by the way, the one experience I had at Walmart was the worst I've ever had. I was supposed to go and pick up these joysticks and just bring them right home. I pre-ordered them online. They were there supposedly in stock. Just go, pay, pick it up, gone. I go there and I spent over 2 hours at Walmart to pick up these joysticks because they were understaffed. The person who works the pickup counter was not there that day. They had no idea where they were. They just didn't show up for work. None of the management actually knew how to run the pickup counter. They had.
It's so funny how DSP just everywhere he goes, he gets these wild stories, and I'm sure it's like a step away from what actually happened.
Employees running around the store like chickens with their heads cut off. No one knew anything. It took the employee 2 hours as they scoured the warehouse to find the joysticks and finally give them to me so I could go home. Okay?
Okay.
So,
well, maybe
here's the deal.
Whatever.
I don't like Walmart because I know that they're a scumbag company.
Oh, you know what?
I know that they mistreat their
okay, this is massive okay, because you all know DSP. You all know this fucking clown. I don't think he disliked Walmart because of these issues and ethical problems. I don't think that's where he drew the line. It was just he waited 2 hours and that was it. Fuck this company. That's it. And that's why he hates it. But since he sounds like a Karen for hating that, he goes with yeah, man, they kill babies. I mean, or whatever, you know, it's unethical. Walmart's unethical. He decides to double down on that. And instead of just having a bad experience. I mean, it's fine to stop going somewhere because of bad service. I mean, that's like a human reaction. I used to go to McDonald's for a while, and then the service just got worse and worse. So I'm like, okay, I don't need to go there and waste my time. I'll just, go somewhere else. And that's what I did, and that was it. I'm not hiding behind political reasons why I don't go there.
I know that they don't pay enough. I know that they ruin the towns they move into. They have absolutely no regard for anything around them. All they care about is that they're making money. That's it. They don't give two shits. And when a Walmart moves in, that town now is beholden to Walmart. What do? All our other businesses went out of business because they can't compete with the prices of Walmart. Now we got to shop at Walmart, and there's nothing we can do about it. So now it's a Walmart town, right? That's YouTube in a nutshell. That's literally YouTube. And that's this lolcow culture on YouTube. What you found is you found people who are so desperate, right? They need to make money in some way. They can't just operate anymore and have a life on YouTube for some reason. Maybe
okay, if that's the case, why am I not rich? Where's my money, Phil? I'm doing drama content. Where's my money? I'm not. Come on.
Their popularity has waned. Maybe they just made a ton of mistakes or whatever. And the only way that they can get attention on YouTube is by creating drama. So what they do is they create the drama. They know the drama's toxic. They know that it's harmful. They know that it's not good. But that's the only way that they can get by. So they sit there and they create drama. And then everyone else sits outside and says, ha, now we capitalize. And we jump on this. And we make 2-hour documentaries. And we do podcasts about them. And we slam them. And we rip them a new butthole.
But then why did Turkey Tan make a documentary on you when you're not doing that? Huh. Okay.
Constantly make fun of them, and we meme on them, and we milk them. Milk them.
Oh my god.
I want you to think about that statement, because this is coming full circle now. As I was watching Turkey Tom's 20-minute response video about
milk them. I mean, you say milk too, man. You whatever.
Okay? He distinctly said 2 things in the video. All right? That resonated with me overnight as I slept on it. And the first he said was, I wish he would watch my documentary so he could react to it, I could react to his reaction, and then he would come on the Lolcow podcast.
Then he would
the Lolcast, or whatever the fuck it's even called. I don't know, because they had to change the name because they're so stupid. They made a show that they couldn't even use the name of, and now they had to change it. I don't give a fuck what it's actually called anymore.
I don't know about that.
So literally,
I don't give a fuck.
The reason he wants me...
It's so funny. He knows more about it than I do, and I really don't give a fuck, man. I just know that there were 3 hosts and stuff happened, and then Boogie had to crawl on his knees. That's my extent of knowledge I have of it. Because I think what kind of turned me away immediately just off the bat was they talked about the Mudahar thing, and then they brought up Boogie's girlfriend as well. I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck. This is like stupid, and I moved on with my life. And that's where it stopped. And after that, I just saw Boogie crawling on his knees, and I was like, okay, I'm glad I that's the amount of attention I gave it. And DSP is giving it more attention than I did.
To watch his documentary is for more content for himself. Do you understand? He admits it right there in the video. He says it. And then he says at the end of the
then I got a question. Another question. What a shocker. I have more questions. I'm leaving this video with more questions. Then why do you tell all these people who do documentaries on you and all this stuff to reach out to you to get an update or whatever? He told us he would love to do a June the King thing where June the King would upload a video, then he could do an interview with him after to discuss it and all this other stuff. He wants all these follow-ups. But now, Turkey Tom does a documentary, wants a follow-up, and that's bad. Why is it bad when Turkey Tom does the thing you asked him to? Oh, because it just doesn't suit what you want. Ah, that's right. And he probably, I think the other thing is people were telling that Turkey Tom has like relation with Keem, and DSP probably was like, I don't know, man. He has relation to Keem. I don't want to touch that.
Well, unless Phil decides to actually do this interview with me, I think I'm done milking him. Milking him.
This is a wild thing to get hung up on as well, because sure, you could take it like that, but at the same time, it could just be a facetious joke, because it's like, because DSP called it drama and drama milking and all this stuff as well. I mean, it's like whatever. It's a whatever joke. It's not even that big of a deal.
I want you to again think about
whatever.
That. All right,
get that
and
bag,
then
right?
I started to read into what people were saying about Tom and or other things going on, and I started reading messages. And basically, here's the information that I got overnight. Are you aware that Turkey Tom is part of this lolcow culture and lolcow cast? I didn't know that.
I think that comment is what did it. The fact that he's highlighting this comment, I think this is what it is. He made this whole narrative or whatever to validate it, so we can't make fun of him.
I don't watch it. I'm not paying attention to it. Oh yeah, he's called one of the lolcow farmers. Him and Mudahar and others.
Mudahar? That's new to me, because I'm subscribed to him on YouTube, and all the videos I see from Mudahar is just him talking about tech stuff and video games. Like, I've never seen Mudahar do a video talking about lolcow shit. Like, that is kind of wild to me. Unless he does something that I'm not aware of, because, I don't know. He might be talking to people, but is this him talking to people? I mean, people can talk to people online all the time. Whatever.
To every show. And they're not highlighted like lolcows. They're highlighted like big shots, right?
Wait, what?
Mudahar and others, they're showing up to every show, and they're not highlighted like lolcows.
What show does Mudahar show up all the time? I don't think he does. This is a really weird comment. I kind of am pressing X to doubt so hard. Like, it's either this is completely exaggerated of what actually happens, or it's a complete lie. There's no way that I could see this with Mudahar. I mean, unless you're just talking about him reacting to stuff on Twitter, but that's reacting to stuff on Twitter. Whatever.
They're highlighted like big shots, right? They come to the show in order to basically degrade the subjects of the show, which,
like, is he really just talking about that rich thing? But that is because they were both just talking to each other. Like, is this really okay? Because he talks about the whole thing about a little bit about how, like, Rich had a stream or whatever, and he had Mudahar on and Boogie on. The reason why that happened, I don't know fully. I just know a little bit, to the point of, like, Boogie said something that pissed Mudahar off, and Mudahar is mad at Boogie, and that's why they were on that video to talk it out. That's all. That's the only thing. And the reason why there were studios at Big Shot is because Mudahar is a YouTuber who does videos about tech and fucking video games. Like, there's stuff that he says it's whatever. I mean, it's just Twitter discourse, so you know what to expect from that. But it's just that's it. So of course we're gonna talk about it because you don't see Mudar just going on his fucking YouTube channel making videos about World Cups all the time, and for Boogie to say something that pissed him off, that's something interesting because it's like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? And then you, like, it's just ridiculous. Come on.
At this point, I guess, is Boogie and Wings and whoever this other person is who was my replacement, because I didn't do the show, even though you can't replace someone who never agreed to do the show. But whoever they are,
that's not. No, you can, because you could have a movie and initially have like Will Smith cast in it, and then it's like, oh, we don't want Will Smith, we want Chris Rock. I don't know why I picked those two names. I was, believe it or not, I was thinking of Fargo because that show's starting tomorrow, so I'm like getting excited. I was thinking of the last season, so shut up, leave me alone. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna replace him with fucking Chris Rock. That doesn't mean that, like, or no, oh my god, that is a bad example. But let's say that a director wants one actor in this one movie, and they didn't sign on to it, and they're like, well, actually, no, let's get this other actor. That is replacing that actor, even though that other actor didn't agree to it. Like, okay, whatever.
yes, right?
Right?
They're basically, it's like a shooting gallery. Like, here's the people who are supposed to be the hosts, but in reality, they're just the targets of ridicule and toxic behavior. Again, they're just people shooting down at them. That's the show. That's apparently what this show is. And Turkey Tom is one of these people who essentially, oh yeah, you see, we're better than them, so it's time for us to shoot down at them and basically insult them and do this kind of fucked up stuff to them constantly.
What?
All right?
What is this video? Like, I mean, this sounds a little too nefarious. I mean, is it... I kind of feel what it is that they will just bring up drama on the show, whatever that Boogie started, I guess, or whatever the fuck, and then they're just gonna be like, wow, Boogie, you know, don't you think that's kind of shitty that you did that? And you'd be like, no, man, I'm a cool guy. And then they're like, no, man, that's pretty shitty. Look, you said this. And it's that kind of stuff, which is like, you could say it's stupid because it's like, you know, Jerry Springer, right? But it's just whatever, you know, you could take it or leave it.
For what I'm and again, I'm not watching this show. I have nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with it. But people contact me. People actually contacted me this week and said, Phil, you have no idea. You made the absolutely, positively, 100% correct decision to not work with Keemstar and be on that show. You predicted it completely.
Everyone's giving him this much credit, but he said for years he didn't want to work with Keemstar and all this stuff. And it's like, if you just pay attention occasionally to what Keem does, like, you can make your own decision to say, I don't want to work with this guy. I don't like the content he makes. Like, like, you can have that belief. It's just the reason why people memed on him about the 50K is because he acts as if he needs a lot of money to survive. Like, that's why people, like, give him a hard time about it.
Correctly. This was not a show where it was going to be the host talking about topics intelligently, respectfully. It's literally the ridicule those people show. That's the whole point. And it's just gross. It's toxic. It's insulting. From what I'm to understand, they're being degraded to the point where I guess Boogie was forced to get on his hands and knees and apologize to Keemstar because he went on someone else's show.
I will say, people are like, oh, see, Boogie fucked up, he had to do this. But I think it's also doubly kind of stupid for Keem to get that worked up, too. I mean, it was such a ridiculous, like, it's to the point from an outsider's perspective. It's like no one really looks good because think about what Keem is upset about. You did drama on someone else's show, but not my show? What the fuck? Like, you're just like, wow, you just want to control these people's, like, lives? I mean, it's whatever. You can have any opinion about that as you want. But I just saw this and I was like, man, this looks really goofy. Man, imagine wanting to deal with this.
And there was drama, and he's like, you should have done that on our show to make us money. Now apologize to me that you did this because you're so stupid. And he did it, apparently. Right? Now, again, I didn't see any of this. This is people telling me this. And I'm like, can you imagine That's what people want to be involved in? You think this is valid content on YouTube?
But at the same time, I mean, again, you can say whatever about Keem being upset, but I think the other thing is that Boogie just had no backbone to stand his ground. He couldn't even say, like, I wanted to get it over with, and Richard should happen sooner than the fucking Lal Cow podcast, so that's why I did it there. It was more convenient. I didn't care. Whatever. It's a show. We'll have more episodes. I mean, he could even argue that that he was manufacturing drama out of that decision, but it's like he decided to do it anyway. So I mean, whatever, right?
To literally just be
because I don't think Boogie cares. Because that's the other thing. You can sit there and say that Boogie has a humiliation fetish, which he probably does. Why not, right? He also probably doesn't give a fuck because he's probably sitting there like, I'm just getting paid to do this. You know? What if that's what he sees it as? He's like, you know, people are gonna say this is dumb, but hey, I'm laughing to the bank.
Bullying group. I mean, it should really be called
the Bully
We
Cast?
Bully People podcast.
Oh, we bully
That's
people.
all it is. The bullying podcast. We just bully people all day like it's a fucking schoolyard of people beating down on people. That's what the show is, right? So, thank God I'm not involved. Yeah, because I told you guys, I knew. I'm not stupid. I'm wise to this shit.
He's not stupid, but when Boogie told him that he would want to work with Keem, DSP was very surprised that he was working with Keem. Yeah, man, Keem has blood on his hands, but I want to work with him. Okay, man. What? You're working with Keem?
When you tell me that the name of the show is the Lol Cow Show or the Lol Cow Podcast, there's no respect. There's no intention of actually helping people.
I mean, it's fucking Keemstar. I'm sorry. It's Keemstar. Like, if you're expecting anything other than what you got, then I don't know what to tell you.
Something positive. That's a toxic show. That's the point. From the day it was incepted, I knew that was the point. You know? That's why I want nothing to do with it. I'm so...
Then why were you, like, teasing Keem? Like, go back and look at all of the little clips of Keem proposing the idea to him. He's like, I don't know, man. I'll think about it, man. Oh, maybe, man. I don't know, man. Maybe. Like, he just kept being, like, so, like he was just teasing the idea. And then it was like, oh, contact me, call me, email me, do this, do that. And Keem, like, was doing whatever. And then he's like, no, all that to say no. He couldn't just say no. Like, he did a whole Twitter video, and DSP could just, and instead of just saying no, he was like, well, maybe he needs to contact me first, and then we'll talk about it, and maybe, I don't know. Why go through all of that when you didn't want to work with him? That's that, and he has yet to give me a satisfactory answer.
And again, here's the difference. Boogie and Wings, they shop at Walmart, right?
Why does he accuse, like, he has correspondence with Boogie saying that Boogie wants to work with Keemstar, right? Or shop at Walmart. But what proof does he have that Wings does? Because, like, you could argue, like, Wings probably just doesn't care, and it's like, oh, man, okay, I'll do a boxing match or whatever, fuck it. Like, Keems is what, Keems. It's like a fusion of Wings and Keem. Keems. Man, you know what? Imagine that. Imagine if Wings and Keem fused. Imagine what you'd get. You know what? I think that's a fun idea to go down. Just make these like everyone wants to fuse DSP and Wings and all this stuff, but we should fuse like two completely like different people, like Wings and Keem. Imagine.
To get ahead, anything to make a buck, anything to fucking get them to a position where they're doing something because they need that, right? I don't need that.
How does he know that Wings needs it, though? How does he know? What if Wings is in a better position now than he was last year, right? Like DSP says that, oh, I'm in a better position than I am last year, but he has, like, all these factual issues that are going on, right? He has chargebacks and all this stuff, but I like the loud chest beat. But it's like, how does he know Wings is in a bad position now than he was, like, before? Because he only watched the Frederick Knudsen and the Down the Rabbit Hole. Down the Rabbit Hole and the June the King Wings of Redemption videos. Things changed since then. How does he know Wings is still in a bad position? Because he took an opportunity that you don't agree with? I mean, that's like seeing, like, you see actors in commercials. Like Samuel Jackson was doing insurance commercials for a while. Does that mean he was down on his luck by doing a commercial? Or are actors down on their luck doing Marvel movies? Like, no, they just want to get paid. They just do stuff that's on the side. Whatever.
I'm successful. I have a business. I'm good. People come and watch my content. They enjoy my content. They support my content. I do positive content all day. I don't do this lolcow shit. People try to pull me into their spinning vortex of drama shit. So, but I...
And he skates on it. Like, you know, it's funny. He used to be actually factually not really addressing the drama back in 2018, 2019, whatever the fuck. The most he got was that debunking video. And that was it. Now you just blatantly get these, like, little dumbass drama things. And he manufactures his own drama now. I'm convinced at this point. Because last week was very fucking bullshit. I'm still mad, by the way, about the fucking Super Mario RPG and RoboCop dilemma. Like, that shit was so manufactured. And he has the gall to say that I don't make drama content to profit off it. But this dude takes every opportunity to, like, make a fucking statement about something. Like, shut the fuck up, fat ass.
Out of it. Blech. So why would I want to be involved in a show like that? I'd be a moron, right? And if anything, this is, right now, representative. If you're here every day on my show, and you're watching my content, and you're enjoying everything that I'm doing.
I'm not enjoying this,
Is this not
Phil.
evidence that you don't have to be sucked into a toxic vortex of crap on YouTube to be successful?
Then why are you harping on this for an hour? Like, you know, it's funny. I was listening to this when it was new, and I thought it was like 20 minutes, right? I thought it was like a long segment, sure, but I thought it was like 30 to 40 minutes. No, it's an hour long. Insane.
Is this not evidence that you can stand alone and stand apart from all that crap, and you can still be happy? Right?
Right?
I'm not in a desperate situation where I have to milk a situation.
Milk!
Because someone made a 2-hour documentary.
Motherfucker, you milk situations all the time. You milk the fucking sickness. You milked not being able to afford 2 games. They got 3 free games, three copies of 1 game for free. Shut up.
About me, I don't have to now react to it to get some kind of boost in views. So
if he's so above milking and I don't need to milk, then why is he harping so long about this and virtue signaling his own content this much? Because, like, listen to this. It's all, like, clown fanfare. When he talked about the Activision boycotts, he really participated in that when he wasn't buying any game from them that year. He didn't, but he played the beta of Call of Duty Vanguard and then decided it sucked and didn't want to play it. But then right after that, the following year, he bought all their games. But isn't that bad company? Why are you supporting the bad company? He supports the bad practice all the time. And he milks it. He milks all this drama. It's not negative in the sense that it's singling out a single person, but it's still drama because it's negative. And it's worse that he doesn't stand by it. Like, it's one thing if he at least stood by saying, yeah, I'm boycotting Activision, fuck them. And he doesn't buy any game, period. He doesn't buy Diablo 4. He refuses to play that game. Whatever. That's one thing. Because at least you're taking a stand for something. But to talk about it and act like you care for only a year and then to continue buying and supporting Activision, it just rings hollow. And it makes it seem more scummy than being an activist. Like, it's kind of what people, like, criticize some people who make these big political statements on Twitter, and then they just continue to support these practices that they don't agree with, you know? Like, it's that kind of shit.
I could still do my content that I absolutely love making and still make a living. And I don't have to degrade myself down to that level of crap that I feel is very harmful. And it's okay if people disagree, because obviously there's a huge group of people out there that disagree and think that this is fine. Good for you. Well, there's some of us who are older and more mature for that shit, and we don't care.
It's fine if you like it, but we're more mature than you. Sound good?
For that. I certainly don't. I never wanted to be involved with that level of shit. My involvement...
Then why? Why did you tease Keemstar to contact you about a show you didn't want to do? And why did you talk to Boogie after the fact? He told you openly he'd want to work with Keemstar. And then be surprised when he's working with Keemstar.
Boogie and Wings was going to be a positive podcast where we talk, we interact, we have good topics about things. Maybe talk about our lives, our personal situations. You can talk about current events in the news and everything. Dude, I do this every day on my own show. Do you think it would be that hard to do it with two other people who we just talk?
Dude, this dude doesn't talk about politics, though. Come here.
It would be an easy show to do. And by the way, it wouldn't be toxic. It would be fun to do. And everyone else out there could react to the show and do their own toxic shit about it, and I'm sure they would. But at least the core show would be great, and it would be good for our viewer bases and our communities and our audiences. That's what I wanted to do. But apparently, this is more important than that, right? Taking this big paycheck to be on this toxic-ass show where it's a bunch of bullies and a shooting gallery is more important than actually doing something positive for the internet, positive for your audience. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
You tell me that anyone in their right mind would think that that's okay. I'm sorry, but anyone who's involved in this lolcow culture shit, you got to get yourself fucking reassessed at a fucking professional. I dare you to go to a medical professional, a psychiatrist. Tell them
my
you
God.
sit on the internet and all you do is you bully people, or you laugh at other people bullying people, and you watch degrading content about people who you think are pathetic, and this is your actual source of enjoyment. Tell me tell me what a medical
Yeah, when you describe it like that, yeah, it would be fucked up, but no one does that. Like, come on.
professional would say in response to
Just because I upload a video about DSP doesn't mean that I spend my entire life thinking about it. Like, come on.
that. I would love to hear it, because there's a difference between, oh, there's some celebrity gossip, or, oh no, my entire
Whatever.
source of entertainment is actually when other people get harmed, or we bully people, we degrade them. It's fucked up. All right? So I watch a 20-minute video from Turkey Tom. It's my only content of his I've ever watched. And I find the guy's well-spoken. He's charismatic. He's intelligent. He can make a point well.
Look how much he gives him all this credit. You know, he was gonna say no the moment he does that. He never does that to the people he wants to talk to. Correct?
Disagree with him on the point of the fact that he thinks that I've had 10 years of failure, and that's okay. We can have that subjective disagreement and agree to disagree. But the moment that he says, oh, you see, I just wish he would react to the documentary because that would give me more content. Then I could talk about it on the LOLcast, or he can come.
He didn't even say that. He just said, oh, I wish he could do so we could get more information, or we could get more clarity on what's been said or whatever. And this is what DSP wants people to do. That's the kicker of it all. He's saying all of this stuff about it, but he told everyone, I wish people were to come to me. People go to him, why are they wanting to milk me?
On the podcast, and then we have even more content to make, and then I could milk him further, but for now I'm done milking him. All right, that's fucking disgusting. That's not even like a joke. That's not funny. That's fucking vile. All right, that's toxic. That's harmful. That's fucked up. That kind of.
But how is it fucked up though? Whatever. Like, it's like, sure, you could say that it is kind of like whatever, but it's just so obvious. He just means it facetiously. It's just a dig at the situation of how this stuff works. But whatever, like, get hung up on it, I guess.
The fact that you can just nonchalantly say something like that. Oh yeah, I'm done milking someone today. I want you to know how disgusting that sounds. You're milking a human, okay? Not even for sus. You're not milking them for milk. You're milking them for profits, for money. And every time you do that, you hurt them. but you don't care. There's no quality.
So what's the damage? Okay, let's think about this for a moment, right? If you want, because like you could probably argue that there's damage with Boogie, right? Because him crawling on his hands and knees is damaging to like how people see him. Okay, that's damaging. Okay, fair enough. But this is what Turkey Tom wanted, right? He did a documentary and then said, "Well, DSP should like, I wish you reacted to it so we could get some clarity on what I said in the documentary and how I think of it, and maybe he can help make better videos." DSP, let's say DSP reacts to it, gives us clarity, all this stuff, and then Turkey Tom hears this, and then he may make another videos with the clarity, with the new information that's been given to him, makes a second video to clear the air, and then DSP could say, "Good video," and that's it. Or he could do an interview with Tom, describe it, and then leave it at that. What is the damage? I mean, if it goes south, DSP could just move on and say it is what it is. But he's so convinced that a negative interview is gonna somehow cause Jade to cry. Jade would cry in his home. He wouldn't be able to compose himself. He would be in tears. Jade and Derek would be like, "What's going on? No!" And we can't have that. We can't have Derek and Jade lose their favorite YouTuber.
No moral compass here. Who cares, right?
Right?
You're dehumanizing the person. You're literally categorizing them as an animal, not a human.
They literally call you a lolcow. It already happened, buddy.
You've degraded them to the point that they're just cattle. All right? That's really fucked up. It is. It's completely messed up. I can't believe people think that's okay. Right? When you're watching that lolcow show.
But like he's saying this as if like people like think in reality that they're cattle and all this stuff. I mean, it's obvious. Like, yeah, whatever, right? Yeah, if you like treat Phil like an animal in real life, yeah, that's fucked up. But no one is gonna do that. This is just internet shit. Like, you don't have to take everything this personally. He's taking being called a lolcow this personally is just gonna get people like this is why people call him a lolcow, because he's reacting this way over meaningless shit. Like, there's stuff that people say that's online harassment and bullying that would cause more harm than what is being thrown at him being called a fucking lolcow. Like, come on.
And you're seeing people who are supposed to be, oh, we're better than them and we're just going to bully them. What makes you better than them? Exactly. What makes you better than them? Because you're toxic? Because you're okay with bullying people on the internet?
What makes you better than anyone else, though? You didn't give a fuck about treating Howard like shit. So who are you to talk, buddy?
You have no morals or values? That makes you better than them? Because you have an association with someone like Keemstar, who's pretty much the worst of the worst when it comes to that kind of behavior? I mean, what makes you think, Turkey Tom, what makes you think you're better than me?
When did Turkey Tom say he was better than him? Like, I also think, if I remember, I did watch the 20-minute video, and I think somewhere along the line, Turkey Tom said that he's a lolcow because of how he reacts to stuff, and he doesn't, and he takes things way too seriously or whatever the fuck. Like, he said something along those lines. And that's all he said. But he ignores that and focuses on being milked.
You milk me for content, right? And the funny part about all that is, it could easily be reciprocated. Someone could do that to Tom.
Isn't that what he's doing now? He named the pre-stream podcast Turkey Tom Day or whatever the fuck. Like, oh, I'm responding to Turkey Tom. Let's go to his actual channel and get the actual information. Correct? Let's see. Ah, yes. Super Mario RPG. The fucking piece of shit game. Yeah. My response to Turkey Tom and my thoughts on lolcow culture. And then he names the Daily WAP an answer for Turkey Tom, which he doesn't even talk about in this. In this, he just says, watch this. So you would click this because that's Turkey Tom in the name. He then tells you, no, go to this. You click this, Turkey Tom. Like, that's not reciprocal. That's not taking advantage. And then this, I think, does it say Turkey Tom in the title? No. This is Twitter X News. Okay, whatever. Feedback needed. But he talks about Turkey Tom in this as well. Does he bring it up at all? Whatever. He also clickbaited the robbing story, even though his reusable bags got stolen. Not that he was robbed, completely different. Does he even say this? Mention it here? No. But this isn't him milking Turkey Tom, having 2 videos with the same with the title of Turkey Tom, and then just him telling you to watch this. That's not milking. No, of course not. DSP would never.
Someone could do that to Mudahar. Someone could do this. They have done it to Keemstar, actually. And Keemstar ain't happy about it. Remember the H3H3 beef that he had? And when he got roasted on his fucking balls?
The thing is that the reason why Keem was upset about the H3H3 thing is because he lost a sponsorship to it. Like, that's what he was upset about. I mean, you could argue whatever about that, and I don't really care. I don't really care what happens to Keem or H3H3. Those two are a match made in something. But that's why he was mad at them initially. Like, he was probably also mad at what they had to say, of course. But it was just like, he had a sponsorship. They released a video, like, just deep diving into the stuff that they didn't like about him. And that caused him to lose the sponsorship. Like, that's what pissed him off. And it's like, you know, I would, and the thing is, like, people should be held accountable for their actions. So I think just innately, Keem losing a sponsorship isn't necessarily bad. You could argue how it happened or why it happened, that kind of stuff, sure. But I do think that people should be held accountable when it comes to these kind of things, because, you know, you have a platform and you're putting money behind a brand, and you're putting money on, you're giving someone money for something, and if they're not, you know, a good reach, you're gonna want to, like, switch to someone else that's more appropriate for your brand and that kind of stuff. But that's why Keem was upset. That's what that beef was about. Not that, oh, you talked about me, oh my god. I mean, he probably did respond about it, but that's, as Zeesby also described, that's the cycle of the beast, man. You gotta do this and milk. So they're both milking each other anyway. And isn't that what he also described it as? He would make a video, then he would make a video, then he would make a video. Like, he said that, so this isn't really news or, like, shocking, you know?
He hated that shit, man. He was so upset that someone would criticize him the same way that he's criticized everybody else on the internet, right? It could easily be flipped. But the thing is, you'll look for the easy targets, right? If you already find someone like a Boogie, or a Wings, or a DSP, and you find someone who's already the subject of ridicule, and you just keep ridiculing them, well, no one's gonna care when they flip that on you, right? Right now, if I sat here and I made an hour roast of Turkey Tom, no one would care, because I'm the lolcow, right? The thing is, I have no interest in that. I have no interest.
Look how much he cares about public opinion. So he can roast Turkey Tom, and he says no one will care because he's the lolcow. You have to feel that bad about him. But the thing is, you could say anything and believe it because you're a person, DSP. You can have your own opinions.
In researching the guy, finding out what failures he's had over the years. I don't care about what his interests are, what his mistakes are, and I don't care to make a toxic video about him.
He doesn't care about his interests, but didn't you just say that he's interested in the lolcow culture and that's fucked up? Whatever, I mean, but that's toxic.
To make money or profit. That's not me. You know what I want to do? I want to sit here with my audience, and I want to have fun, and I want to...
Okay, another question! What a shocker. If that's all you wanted to do, correct? Why were you teasing the idea of interviewing Turkey Tom, dumbass? I just want to play games. Oh, Turkey Tom wants to interview me? Maybe, man. He has to talk to me first, then we'll have to think about it. Maybe. Guys, should I do it? Guys, can you tell me? Like... Enough with this, then, dumbass. If you don't want to deal with drama, then don't deal with it. He's only saying this now because he has games to play, but watch. When we get back down to downtime, he's going to go back to doing drama shit. He's going to go back to it because this dude is such a piece of shit.
Relax, and I want to enjoy video games, which is the whole point of why I started making content 15 years ago. And I want that to continue. I want that positivity and that fun and that safe, interesting environment to continue. So that way, every day when I turn my stream off, I said, I just had a good day. We enjoyed games. We had fun conversation. I made a living. Everyone's happy. No one's hurt. Until you can do that, you have failed. All right? So every moment that you're going to say 10 years of failure, Dark Side Phil. No. No one's hurt. Until you can do that, you have failed.
Can you prove that Tricky Tom has hurt someone? I mean, because people could say, like, oh, all these, like, I said this before, like, the videos existing themselves isn't necessarily, like, damaging, but if someone's in a bad headspace, those videos aren't gonna help them, you know? Like, it's that kind of stuff, and I can understand, like, when people, like, complain about, like, these negative videos being negative and hurtful to people, like, I think what's mostly being said or trying to be said is that the person the subject matter, they're already in a bad spot, and all the stuff that's surrounding them, and they can't get away from it. It's not gonna really help them, and it may lead them to do more hurtful stuff. It's not the and that encompasses people who may not mean to make hurtful content and all this kind of stuff. Like, people could just make an honest, innocent criticism video, and then the person who's the subject of it, who's saying all this stuff that's slamming them, you know, that may be a good video, but that also may contribute to the person just feeling like shit and going all this stuff. I mean, mental health is a very complex thing to kind of analyze, and you can't really pinpoint on one thing. So that's like the most I could try to make it an abridged take on it.
All right? So every moment that you're going to say 10 years of failure, Dark Side Phil. No. I'm happy and successful being who I am, and I don't hurt anyone when I make my content. Do you understand?
It's funny, right? He tells us in the past so many times he hurt people with his content. I know I hurt people with my content, man. And now that he wants to say that other people hurt someone, he then revised it to say, well, in reality, I was hurting myself, man. Just so he could say his content is successful because he didn't hurt anyone. But he told us for like years, ever since he went back to Twitch, that his content was hurting people. But now he changed his mind on it. Okay.
That's success. The failure is if the only way that you can be successful in life is to step on others, to bully others, to push them down under your heel of your boot. And you have absolutely no conscience to tell you that that's bad. If that's the situation you're in and that's your level of success, I want nothing to do with your level of success.
But how does he know? But how does he know that's the mindset that some of these people have? Like, if he was just talking about Keem, I would say the Boogie video kind of sure gives credence to that a little bit, but it's kind of jarring to just say that as if that's like a thing that everyone has. Like, Turkey Tom feels that way. How do you know that? Because he said he's gonna milk you? That's like an empty statement.
You go ahead.
Like, and DZ says this, right? He says like that as if it's a definitive thing that Turkey Tom said he's gonna milk me. That must mean he has this superiority complex or whatever the fuck. But DSP said he wants to slap an 11-year-old girl. Or a kid, I guess. I don't know if he knew the gender, but he said, I would slap that kid, man, that bitch of a kid. So he really meant he was gonna slap that kid? So he's an abusive parent, right? He's gonna be an abuser, right? No, man, I was kidding, man. I didn't really mean it that way. But Tom says I'm gonna milk, that's enough milking of Phil. He means it literally. Okay. Sound fair? Sounds fair.
You do what you want. You enjoy your bully show. And you beat up people for a living on the internet. But I'm going to issue a word of warning, all right? A very harsh word of warning. And I want you to understand this is not coming from me because I'm well-adjusted and I'm a good person and I feel that ultimately I'm happy.
The guy who told someone to die in a fire is a good person, by the way. Just remember that. And then the guy who role-played as a Nazi and then got mad when people were offended by it. I mean, this is a lot, right?
Where I am, all right? I want all these people who feel like they're safe in their vortex of drama to be very careful, okay? I really feel like people need to start wising up, all right? And here's why I say this. Because we've already seen situations where people who've been bullied have gone crazy. We've seen this. It's documented.
Oh my god! And this is kind of an offensive way to word it too. To say that they've been bullied and they went crazy, like that's really like he says how those people put it down. That's kind of like really putting down people who are getting bullied. To say that they go crazy from it. I mean, they're getting bullied and it may drive them to commit suicide, and that is fucked up. But that's like one of the issues with bullying. I mean, that's like on one hand, it's like people want to approach it saying like, well, bullying, builds character. But I think like at some point there is a line that people can take, and when it gets over that line and there's really no escape from it, they don't really feel that way. Like it doesn't help. It really that's how I view about it. Like if you want to be like mean to someone or whatever, sure, whatever, like, give someone a hard time, whatever, but there's a line, and it's like, I wouldn't want to cross that line personally, because I don't want to like, do that. It just comes by like treat people how you want to be treated, that kind of stuff. So it's just wild for him to say like, oh, they go crazy, man.
Okay? And it's only a matter of time that if you think you feel safe doing this kind of content, this messed up, toxic, really harmful content, and you think that it's good, right? Oh, this is fine because everyone makes out. It's money. It's Walmart. Everyone accepts Walmart, okay? It's just a matter of time until someone snaps. And I'm actually worried that one of these days, and I'm not saying it's going to be Tom. I'm not saying it's going to be Keemstar. I'm not saying who it's going to be. Someone's going to make a documentary about someone. It's going to be the wrong person. And that person's going to fucking lose it, man.
What's he saying? Because he's saying when it's going to happen, but it already happened. Like, if he's talking about suicide, which I'm assuming he is, it already happened. Etika committed suicide because he was depressed and all this other shit that was going on during that time. So that happened. Is that what he's talking about? Or is he saying that someone's going to get a documentary made about them and they're going to go to their house or something and do fucked up stuff? I mean, it happened to Boogie. Someone showed up to his house and then Boogie showed his gun to him. That kind of shit. That happened. Okay.
And that's going to be, and whether it's self-harm or harm of others or whatever I'm saying, that's dangerous shit. You're treading. You're fucking with people's minds. You're fucking with people's brains and emotions of people who probably already aren't well adjusted, especially.
But it's well to say this. He's acting as if like these people were doing a documentary on like a random guy or something, or a random kid. No, these people are doing documentaries and videos on people who have a YouTube presence that have a big following. Like, DSP has a big following compared to, like, a smaller channel. Like, who would you feel more bad about? A person like DSP's channel size, or someone that just started YouTube and they've had only, like, 1,000 subs? Like, and if one gets a toxic video made about them, about DSP and that person, who do you feel bad about? Probably the person with 1,000 subs. Honestly, because it's a smaller user base, and they probably have a YouTube channel. They just probably have a good fun time just uploading videos. DSP's uploading videos for money, and he says a lot of stuff. He has a lot of people following him, and he says a lot of dumb stuff too. Like, this is just insane.
Some of these stories that you've told and shit, you know what I'm saying? This is dangerous shit you're dealing with. And I think what it is people are in this culture where they just think everything's fine, everything's fair, everything's safe, everything's okay, because it's all accepted on YouTube. You're right? All right, listen. It's legal, right? It's legal. You can do it, but you gotta be careful.
But but you can report a video for being bullying. Like, there's community strikes on YouTube. There's all this stuff that you can flag videos for being harassment, and that has happened. Like, come on. Like, I remember there was a time, this was years ago, like some OG viewer of mine may know this, but there was a dude that I don't, it was such weird beef, to be honest. And of all places, it started on Tumblr. I mean, I know you're already just laughing back. You're laughing already. I had an argument about with him about Gurren Lagann of all things. Again, this is the weirdest shit. And I somehow found he had linked his YouTube channel on his Tumblr profile. I go to his YouTube video and I watched a few of his videos and I kind of made fun of them. And I don't know. I didn't see anything. In my opinion, I don't think I said anything that was like really bad. But it was kind of a negative video. It was a negative video. And I upload it. I leave. I come back and I get a community strike. I'm like, you know what? That was kind of fucked up because this guy had like he the videos was just probably him just fucking around. It's like, you know what? I was wrong. Because I have bad videos too. I mean, Facebook keeps reminding me of the fucking awful videos I uploaded on Facebook. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I ain't better than him. I do make dumb videos. I probably make bad points too. You know what? These videos are not worth it. I would much rather just focus on people who are like DSP and stuff like that than just a random guy. And that was it. I did apologize for it because I did feel genuinely it was really bad content. I was like, I don't want this to be the content I put out. But this is different because it's DSP and he's a fucking clown and he gets like fucking $100,000 a year, so he can afford it.
Difference between I made a documentary and it was even-handed and fair, or I made a documentary but I really hope someone responds to it so that I can milk them
I guess with DSP's logic, I should brag about how I realized the error of my ways when I grew up. I matured as a YouTuber and I realized that kind of content was negative and toxic, and now I'm moving on positively. So obviously, I am the coolest guy, and you all love me and my content. It's great. Everyone loves me. Sound good?
Content and dehumanize them constantly, endlessly, so we can all get all over on it. It's like, what?
What?
Do you not see the difference between that? And it's gonna come to a point. It really is going to come to a point.
And you know what? I could double brag because DSP tells us he has thick skin, so he can take it. The other person, you know, it was fucked up, but this guy has thick skin. He could take it. He could take it. So, you know, I think DSP should do everyone a solid and just, you know, be DSP.
Someone's going to snap. And I tell you right now, it ain't going to be me. I'm happy. I'm good, man. Like I said, I'm good. I'm in a good situation. I have a great family life, thankfully. Right? I've had times in my life in the past where things were awful. Things are good, you know? I just got to stay my course and
because
not make the same mistakes that I made in the past.
I feel there's something else going on with him. Not that he's, like, depressed, but I just think he has delusions going on.
And just keep going the way I'm going, and hopefully things will go well for me in the future, right? But you know, after getting all this feedback and everything, and seriously, like, weighing this situation of how it's going, I'm like, I didn't know anything about this Lolcow show or anything. I had no idea what it really was. I had an idea of what it was going to be. That's why I wanted nothing to do with it. But when people started telling me what it was, I was like, do they not get it?
Whoa.
Like, do they not understand what they're doing? Like, you are trying to normalize fucked up bullying behavior. You're trying to say that's fine. That's okay. To beat up people for
the behavior that they're trying to normalize is pretty much normalized already, to be honest. If you just look at what's going on the internet, I mean, it's already there. I mean, like, he's saying this when swatting happens. Like, people got swatted, and you know, like, the shit, you know, fucked up shit happens, man.
Profit. That's not okay. In no case is it ever okay. All right? And it doesn't matter if it's illegal and people get away with it. It's still wrong. All right? Now, maybe that's me because I grew up Roman Catholic. I was raised in a certain household, a certain kind of moral values or whatever.
What?
But to me, when you tell me that...
Okay, if that's the case, right? Then why do you spend time antagonizing your chat? Like, he said this? Okay, let's see if you fucking response. Okay? And then we have, like, clips like this, right? A Roman Catholic said this, guys. Oh, where is it?
Oh, no, you didn't, you motherfucking piece of shit cocksucker. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna find out who the fuck you are. You motherfucker. You are fucked. Let this be noticed live on the internet. You're fucked. And you are done.
Is that how Catholics handle beef? They say they threaten people, and then don't mean it. Okay, I mean that's wild.
You know what I'm saying? And again, they think they're protected. They're not. At any moment, and I've listened. I learned this.
And again, you look back at how he treats Kevin Bernstein when OIC was like threatening to dox him. Was he being kind to him? He bullied him. He yelled at Kevin Bernstein to shut up and take it, pretty much.
The hard way, right? You think that you're protected in life and you think that everything's okay, and in a moment's notice, something could flip on its head, right? One day you're going to be doing a documentary on Joe Blow from Hoboken, New Jersey, and how he did something stupid on the internet, and you don't know how he's going to react to it.
Why did you dox Joe Blow?
I mean, you got to be so fucking careful, man. This is wild that to think. And the thing...
Wait, where's Joe Blow from?
How he did something stupid on the internet, and you don't know how he's going to react. Something could flip on its head, right? One day you're going to be doing a documentary on Joe Blow from Hoboken, New Jersey, and how he did something stupid on the internet, and you don't know how he's going to react to it. All right? And that's... I mean, you got to be so fucking careful, man. This is wild that to think. And the thing... I hope that Turkey Tom understands when I say all this, I'm actually trying to look out for his best interests. All right? I think this guy's charismatic. I think he's intelligent. God. I think he can make good content.
This dude.
I think what he should do right now is immediately quit that show. This very moment.
And also, I think he's also equating, like, real life bullying to this. And it's like, you can say whatever about cyberbullying, and you know, I said enough about that, but there's a fundamental, like, massive difference when you take into account real life bullying, because it's one thing to like make a video and say this guy's an idiot, and it's another to, like, every day you make school a living hell for one kid in particular, and to the point where they don't even want to go to school anymore and that kind of shit. Like, there's a fundamental difference between the two things. Some bullies do use social media to bully a kid that's in school as well, but it's in person that gets added to it. I mean, there's all this fucked up stuff that's going on. I would not really compare the two. And DSP's 41 years old. Like, the videos that I've seen mostly from Turkey Tom, from what I remember, I know he did a Mr. Enter video. He probably did a Christian video. I mean, who hasn't done one? LTG and DSP and Wings and all that. These are like adults. Like, come on.
He hears this, he should quit the fucking Lol Cow show and try to do something better for himself. Because I know he can. Because I know that he's smart. I know that he's intelligent.
But if the Lol Cow show, right, is only focusing on Boogie and Wings, like, what's gonna happen? You know, if it's just them. If that's the premise of the show, because it's not like that they announced that it was going to have a rotating Lol Cow cast. It was going to be Boogie and Wings. So it's going to be focusing on them. But okay.
I know he's charismatic. I know he can make good content that's not harmful. He has to stop with that. It's not even a documentary.
So he doesn't watch Turkey Tom's content, but he knows that he made content that's not harmful. I wonder if the content that's not harmful are the documentaries that is not about him. Huh. Interesting.
Documentary about me I have the problem with. It's all this other shit that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. And you got to separate yourself in life. At some point in life, you've got to take a stand for what you believe in. And you got to understand that it's all about who you...
DSP is telling people to stand for what they believe in. This is massive satire. Because he doesn't stand for anything. He was against going back to Twitch. Oh my god. Then he goes back to Twitch. Then he's against YouTube. Now he's back on YouTube. What do you stand for? If you're going to criticize what other people stand for, what do you stand for?
Associate with as well. And that's just not the right path to go down where he's going. So, all things considered, when you think that it's okay to say you're going to milk someone, or you've milked someone like a dehumanized animal, and you think that's fine, that's totally morally acceptable because I got views and money off of it. That's where I draw the line.
That's where I draw the line.
I'm not going to have anything to do with Turkey Tom. I'm not going to have anything to do with Mudahar. I'm not going to have anything to do with Keemstar. I'm not going to have anything to do with Boogie. I'm not going to have anything to do with Wings of Redemption. I'm not going to have anything to do with anyone associated with that kind of fucking behavior on the internet. That is the complete antithesis of what I stand for on the internet. So, If that means that I just sit here and I play games with my audience, as small as it is, and I'm here forever, that's fine. I'm happy with that. I don't need toxic popularity for making bad choices, you know, and being milked. I can't believe that you would even say that in a video and think that's, oh yeah, I'm milking people today. Like, huh? Like, what?
He thinks
you think that's fine?
He's saying it
to
so
talk
literally.
like that. That's not fine. That's real.
Like, listen to how he's talking, though. He's talking like a fucking parent. He's talking so down to Turkey Tom right now. It's really to the point. If Turkey Tom were to be like, yeah, man, Phil's right, then he just looks like a massive clown. Like, the dude is talking to Turkey Tom like he's a fucking 10-year-old. Is it because he thinks Turkey Tom's a child? And he has to listen to his elders? This dude has such a... Like, he doesn't have any kids, but he sure talks like he wish he did.
Really messed up. Like, I mean it. Go talk to a psychiatrist and tell them you milked someone today. And let's see how they respond to what you said. They're going to be like, dude, what did you just say? Like, huh? But this is it.
They're probably going to be like... They're probably going to think it's a joke, because... Who would say that unironically? Like, that's the thing. DSP heard this and took it unironically. Man, just sarcasm just flies right over his head. It's really, you know, it's an evergreen video at this point. He watched a video about this guy. It was like a meme video about cars, and he took it so seriously. And I think Snort Burnell has a video. It's called, like, DSP tries it, missing sarcasm or some shit. And it's kind of fascinating how literal this dude takes everything. I'm surprised he knows sayings like sour grapes. I'm surprised he doesn't think that it really means sour grapes.
Been normalized on YouTube. This behavior has been normalized by people like Keemstar, so it's acceptable now. No, it's not. It's really not. You have to understand. Normal people think this is endlessly fucked up. They don't agree with this culture, this spinning toilet culture of toxic shit. It's awful. And the quicker, the absolute quicker you get out of this toxic vortex, the better. Especially for someone like Turkey Tom, who seems like he's got his head on his shoulders. He's smart. He's intelligent.
Head on his shoulders. He's smart. He's like, dude, shut up. Shut up, man.
He can make great content, but he has to get out of the toxic vortex now before you're stuck in it forever. Because guess what? You'll be the next lalcow.
How long does he think Turkey Tom has been doing like this kind of content? Because it's not like he did it today. He's been doing this content for a long time. And he's like, he needs to get out now before he becomes the next lalcow. He won't. I mean, he'll probably be like considered an A-logger at best. I mean, that's what most people call people who do videos like this.
You'll be the next one who 10 years down the line, you're desperate for content. And what are you going to do to get it?
What are you going to do?
Well, all you ever did was make fun of people. No one cares about you anymore. Now what are you supposed to do? Right? You're the next one on the list, man.
How do you know?
No, I'm not doing no goddamn interview with him or anyone else involved with any of that toxic shit. And that's my final answer.
Oh, God. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, I was getting
all right,
scared.
guys, I'm done. I got it off my chest. And now you got my answer. And now we can go back to normality around here. And the funny part is, you absolutely, positively know that these people are going to talk about it in their content or whatever, but that's the last thing they're going to get out of me. You know?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's just stupid. It's pointless. It's dumb. It's so different from anything that I would ever want to be dealing with. And it's sad. It really is sad. You know? But, hey, that's what YouTube has become, right? This toxic place. And I refuse to engage with that. So, hope you respect my decision. And, again, I literally don't have any problems with Turkey Tom or his documentary. I haven't seen it. But I certainly have problems with behavior like that, right? Like, that's really endlessly fucked. So, I'm not going to involve myself with it, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay. I will remember this when it's downtime and there's no new games coming out and he wants to do a react event, because I guarantee he's gonna have it in a nomination poll. Guarantee. It's definitely gonna happen. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching. It was a fun video. It was a super fun video. It was a great video. Everyone loved it. You guys loved this video. Hope to see you in the next one. We learned not enough. I think we need to learn more, but maybe today, because I'm recording this Monday and it's 1:54 p.m. my time, so he's gonna stream probably in 30 minutes. So maybe he's gonna say something else. We will see. But until then, we can only hope we'll have a normal week again from this guy, but I doubt it because it's fucking DSP. Alright, thank you for watching. See you when I see ya. Bye-bye.